You know, lately a nigga been fighting a whole lot of demons. A lot of shit we do gonna have consequences, but we gotta be ready for them. Emergency, I just got out of surgery. I'm having problems with my heart and it won't work. I did some shit in my past and it's cursing me. I'ma stay right here on this plastic, gonna take breath from me. I'm sipping his hand and eat this pain, but it ain't helping me. My little nigga going against the grain and that shit stressing me. I pray to God that God have mercy. I'm living a crazy life. I just shot at a nigga for talking some shit on the gang, he paid the price. I was young in the rush for the money, my hunger for paper saved my life. And I should get saved tonight. If you wanna lick shit, we can get rich, we can get paid tonight. Dollar, dollar bill, y'all. Everybody want the money, everybody want this shit. Everybody want the money, but don't wanna go down, down, down. You'll do anything to get it, but when you gonna go out there? Shit, gotta think about it. 187. Murder for hire, nigga. You killed a nigga, you don't know if you gon' go to heaven. Gotta chalk that shit over, though, real talk. Hey. Fight my demons, fight my demons. So many demons. Me against these demons. Against these demons. Fight my demons, fight my demons. Fight in my. It's me against these demons. Me against these demons. Whoa, I'm fighting these demons up in this ghost. I'm fighting these demons, I'm on the ropes. They came with a beam up under my coat. Get hit in the spleen if you want to smoke. That money be green, so niggas on go. I'm looking so clean, I used to be broke. Remember they laughed at me and they choked. Gave me the ball and nigga they choked. Say it was turn out, nigga, you roll. My little nigga don't follow no call. Follow no call, no call. My nigga follow me like the pole. I stand on my word and stand by the consequence. They say I'm heartless, thanks for the compliment. I seen your dead homie, yell a company. BMG gang, get bitch, we incompetent. Don't wanna hear that shit, I gotta kill that shit. Lead the militant. I can get ignorant, we not considerate. Niggas do silly shit, we get the drilling shit. Guilty and innocent, don't give a fuck about them bystander. I can pull up in the Highlander. Don't take no slander. Don't take no slander. Dollar, dollar bill, y'all. Everybody want the money, everybody want this shit. Everybody want the money, but don't wanna go down, down, down. You'll do anything to get it, but when you gon' go out there? Shit, gotta think about it. 187. Murder by hire. You killed a nigga, you don't know if you gon' go to heaven. Gotta chalk that shit over, though, real talk. Hey. Fight my demons, fight my demons. So many demons. Me against these demons. Against these demons. Fight my demons, fight my demons. Fight in my. It's me against these demons. Me against these demons. Living life.
Grand Rising, Namaste, Ashe, salutations, Shalom, peace, gratitude rising today, gratitude rising. You got to be thankful for what people show you they are, okay? So when someone shows you the true nature of them, you have to take heed to that, right? We have to stop allowing ourselves to see persons, see personas. A lot of stuff in this world is going to trick you in the idea of what that person is, right? To stop you from seeing the energy that actually is that person. So a lot of people say, man, that's a black woman. You just going to come at a black woman like that? That's not a black woman, right? Once you realize that energies have no color besides the spectrum, then you'll realize why everyone tries to make you look at different personas and say, this is not right, that's not right. For a black man to tell you about a black woman and the evilness of a black woman, oh, why are you speaking about that woman like that? Right? And the same thing goes in reverse, right? Someone tell you that, oh man, that's a black man. You got to take this idea of what they tell you color is and get it out your mind. Stop thinking like you're seeing someone that got the same color as you, Stop thinking that someone that the same color as you deserves this or deserves that. You got to see past the color, see past the flesh, right? And I don't see a lot of people actually looking at people for their actions or, giving people a proper analyzation, because you guys keep on seeing this outer flesh. You guys keep on being blinded by this outer flesh. So today we are going to talk about imposter spirits, right? We are going to talk about how the things that we think about, it's not real. Okay. We keep looking at this color system. We keep looking at this system that they created. This is called linear thinking. This is when something has been taught for, excess amount of time. And we get to thinking like that. So a lot of people are scared to speak up because this person is blood. A lot of people are scared to speak up because this person is black. A lot of people are scared to speak up because we're from the same neighborhood. A lot of people scared to speak up because we got the same zodiac sign, right? All of you guys are creating downfalls for our future. And the reason why I say that is because if we constantly keep looking at this concept of not speaking up because someone's a sister, someone's a cousin, this is why so much stuff got pushed under the carpet, especially back in the day in a black household. You know, you knew you wasn't supposed to be around this uncle, you knew you wasn't supposed to be around this aunt, but because they were family, you put yourself around them, right? You got betrayed, you got victimized, whatever the case may be. We have to stop teaching this. We have to stop teaching this. You have to know people from their actions, from their fruits, from what they are doing. A lot of people run around and they see people doing evil stuff. And you know what they say? But they got a good heart. So why are they not reflecting that? It says, though a man thinketh in his heart, so shall he be. So if someone's heart is good, then the reflection of that persona should also be good. So you guys are allowing yourself to be fooled by your feelings and emotions. You would like to feel that this person is good, right? You It's not logic, because logically they out there doing all types of unhumane things, right? So that's not a logical way of thinking, to say that this person got a good heart even though you watch them screw so many people over. And a lot of people keep on telling you this stuff, right? Come on, Drax. Don't start. Don't start, Drax. So a lot of times when you are dealing in this magnitude, you have to realize the personas that you're putting yourself around. Vibrational frequencies are changing. Things are changing around us. You're starting to see people for who they really are. And you have to take heed to what it is that you're seeing. A lot of people are going around doing wicked stuff, but then because they show a good face, you guys are not looking at the wickedness of what they're doing. Oh, because this person gave you a good song, you don't want to see them for the monster that they are. Because this person is a good musician, because this is a good athlete, because this is this. So you're not looking at the corruption and the wickedness that we have, systematically overlooked, because this person is entertaining us. So because they're entertaining us, you're more likely to let them get away with what they're getting away with. Or because you idolize them, you're more likely to allow them to do the things that they're doing. And this is a great subject. With everything that's going on, this is a great subject, because you are watching imposter spirits. You are watching people steal other people's identities. You are watching people play right in your face with this whole word thing, right? They're manipulating your words. They're playing words with friends. You say one thing, they perceive it to be something else, and they run with their perception of your words, not what you really meant. They run with the perception of what they wanted to be. This is why I say you can't change how someone else wants you to look in their book. If they want you to be the villain in their book, They're going to overlook all the heroic things that you did and just count all the things that they think is villainizing, right? So you can't change how someone else wants you to be in their book. Once someone makes you out to be their bad guy, you're going to always be their bad guy. They're not going to count you for the good things that you're doing. So now what that puts you in, that puts you in a loop, because now you're sitting there trying to do everything so this person can see you for the good person that you are, right? And these are childish games. This is why when you was a kid, you would look at somebody and say, "You don't like me, do you?" And they say, "No, I like you." Why? What makes you say that? You say, "No, you don't like me." And then they say, "Can I get a cookie?" Right? Now, if you don't give them the cookie, they're going to say, "See, I told you you didn't like me." Right? So it's a childish game. And now that we are in the Aquarius sky, it seems like more adults are playing this childish game, right? So you have to be very cautious of this stuff. You have to be very cautious of this stuff. Nobody's worried about what you saying, my song, my son, whatever. Nobody's worried about that. That's why you got to have proper discernment. Do your own research on what you're saying. Stop taking Maggie's word for it. That's what's wrong with y'all. Y'all are just running with somebody else's word. You're over there listening to an echo chamber and you never looked up nothing yourself. So I implore you to go look into the stuff yourself and not take Maggie's word for it. But in the meantime, between time, I'm gonna get you up out the way because you shouldn't be over here. All right. If one of my mods didn't clip you already, I'm gonna get you up out of here. Don't come in feeding no bull crap that's falsified. Don't put falsified stuff in my comment section. So let me get you up out of here real quick. There you go. Now these are imposter spirits, right? These are imposter spirits. These are not real people. Don't be fooled by these personas, okay? You see what they do. They run around and mimic and echo each other. None of them do any type of study in their self. They don't go look into the stuff their self. They just take somebody else's word for it. Well, if she said it, it must be true, right? That's the problem right there. None of these people go try to get their own understanding of a person. They just take what somebody else is saying, right? And this is why it tells you, let he without sin or you cast the first stone, right? So this is why it keeps on telling you, stop judging people, right? Take your own discernment. You're running around going off of what someone else is saying, but you didn't take your own, analogy. You didn't go look into it yourself or anything. This is why the world is the way it is right now, because someone else told you how you should be. Someone else picked your bad guys for you and your good guys for you. And now you running around acting like you know who the bad guy is and you know who the good guy is. You're funny. You're funny. We are live on 2 TikTok pages, 2 YouTube pages, and 1 Twitch page. So we are pushing this out, right? So we're live on 2 TikTok pages, Energy Atlas and Energy of Atlas, and we are also live on 2 YouTube pages, Energy of Atlas and RalphDawise, and we're live on Twitch. So we're going to take ourselves a little bit more seriously, and because I want you guys to see these different entities, right? But I also want to explain to you just how they work, right? Now, everybody that's in this YouTube, you have watched over the years how Jaguar has groomed and shaped different people in this area or on YouTube, right? And you watch how they just lie about anything. You literally can catch them in a lie, and in that same sentence they will change up their story. You watch their story change multiple times. So now you have to ask yourself about the people that's gathering around them. If the people that's gathering around them don't want to see it, it's not up to you to keep on trying to force them to see what they don't want to see. They're choosing to be willfully ignorant. They're choosing to be willfully blind, right? So you can't get caught up or get lost in their ignorance. Don't get caught up and lost in their choice. Some of them choose that because they want to look at things from a carnal perspective. They don't want to see the truth. So you actually doing yourself uh, uh, injustice by constantly trying to see people or trying to help people see the truth that don't want to see the truth, right? So they're covering lies with more lies, right? You watch them literally tell people, "Oh, you donated money and I didn't spend the money on what you said what I said I was going to spend it on." Well, that's your problem. You donated. I'm keeping it, right? Thanks for your money. Get out of here. That's what they're saying. They're telling you that they don't see you. They only see your money. They're telling you that. They're literally telling you to your face. Maddie has now, you know, put herself in the same energy as Jaguar Wright. Thank you for your donation. Get out of here. Stephanie took $300 from somebody and some more money from somebody. And now they're just over there like, so what? I got your money. Get out my face. Right? You're watching them turn on people in their comment section. You're watching them literally pull people out the comment section to berate, to taunt, to talk shit to, right? They won't let people up that's speaking the truth. They say, "Oh, I don't know who that is, so I'm not letting them up." But think about that. If you don't know who people are and you're not letting them up, then how did a spy come up and speak about something? So that means you knew who the spy was. That means you knew that somebody was working for Murph. And if Murph is a habitual liar, why would you believe somebody that's working for a habitual liar? But these people will never take proper discernment because they're not using their own thoughts, right? They're allowing someone else to shape how they think, which is the saddest shit ever. It really is the saddest shit ever to watch people not take their own understanding into consideration. Now everybody's running around, taking someone else's understanding. Well, they said. Don't get caught up in the he say, she say game. Go do your own research so you can get the facts. You can't compare where you can't, compete, right? There's no sense of competing with someone that can't compare to the things that you already know, right? But they're running around in an unknown state, acting like they know everything. You have watched her lie about court, she has falsified everything, right? And the only reason why they're mad is because we over here do proper research. Now, I want to ask y'all how somebody got an 86.2K page, but making it seem like they don't operate that page. They don't have that page. Maggie has a whole 86.2K page, more followers than Jaguar. Why she don't go live on that page? Why she don't send people to that page? Why she don't talk about that page? Is it because the people on that page it will call her out on her bull stuff? Is it because the people on that page will, when she go live, they're probably looking for refunds or money or something like that? Or how about the fact that Maggie said that she was 15 years old talking to a 35-year-old? You guys will completely overlook the things that she are saying because you want to fit an idea that is closer to your feelings and emotions. You want to believe because she got an accent that she's telling the truth. You want to believe because she's a woman that she's telling the truth. That's the problem. You guys don't want the truth. You want belief. Belief is an unknown system. So you guys keep on believing, and we're going to keep on revealing the truth. All right? We're not the same. We are clearly not the same. I want the truth beyond anything else. I want to stand in the light. I don't want to be surrounded by darkness. I don't want these nasty entities around me. And every time I see them, I'm going to point them out. Okay. And those who take heed to me pointing them out, they take heed. Those who don't, go finish following blindly, because that's what y'all do. Y'all follow blindly because you're driven by lust. So because you think you're going to get something out of it, you're going to, hey, Maggie, I went over there and defended you. You're all of these characters, they don't have a mind of their own. They are unconscious beings. So they fall suit in that unconscious realm, right? To sit there and hear someone speak on highly intelligent things, but then insult their intelligence, but want somebody to believe your carnal way of thinking, right? Money, 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 money. Give me money. My dog need this. Give me money. I need StreamYard. Even though you had StreamYard, right? Nobody's calling her out on that. The fact that she has StreamYard already before she collected that 600 something dollars. So you guys are willfully allowing this person to grift, scam, crowdfund. That's your fault. Y'all don't get mad at me for speaking against it. And of course, anytime that you are dealing with someone that's in their survival chakra and they feel like you're about to take away their means of surviving, they're going to come against you. I'm not mad at Jaguar Wright, Madagascar, Wolf Kutche, or Murph for coming against me. I expected them to come against me. Why? Because I'm pointing out their means of survival. Their means of survival is traumatized to monetize. Their means of survival is literally a fake outrage, right? So they're on here creating different scenes so they can act like they're outraged by it and then yell at the screen a little bit. And because that's pleasing to your feelings and emotions to watch them in anger, you donate. Here's a super chat. Here's this. So they're analyzing what you're paying them for. So the more you pay them for those outlandish outbursts, they're going to keep on trying to give you those outlandish outbursts, something to be upset about. And they're falsifying evidence, right? So, due to the fact that they defame my character and all of that stuff, I don't have to speak on them no more. That's what the law is for. That's what lawyers are for. That's what lawsuits are for. So, defamation of character actually, you don't have to speak on none of that stuff anymore. Let them keep on defaming my character, and I'm going to keep on pointing out truths, right? And when the chips fall where they may, you guys are going to see who's the liar and who's telling the truth. That's it. I don't have to keep on going back and forth with these entities. They're going to see who's and see, since everybody are operating with feelings and emotions, all they're going to do is say, that's messed up how Ralph did them. That's messed up that Ralph told on them. That's messed up that Ralph went to the police. Why was it okay for them to go to the police? Why was y'all cheering them on when they said that they got the FBI and directories and all of that stuff? Y'all was cheering for that. But then soon as somebody, because you're seeing through feelings and emotions, that's why. Your feelings and emotions is with them. And they don't logically make sense. But because you're seeing with feelings and emotions, anything they do, you'll justify. Everything that they do, you're justifying their madness and keep on allowing them to play victim. Maggie has tore people down, called people bees, told people to shut up, told people, basically defamed people characters, took people identity away from them. Think about that. They're stealing people's identity. They're denying people of being them, right? Selma, Amber, Bonnie, Lady Letitia, Just D's, right? And now me. The only reason why they're mad at us is because we were showing love to the people that they wanted to feel fear, terrified, like they had no hope. So we gave people back a little bit of hope, and they're mad because they can't siphon that energy no more. That's what they're upset about. But we'll get into that later. All right. Right now, let's learn a little bit.
An impostor is defined as any entity or human being that is saying words or expressions, or making representations that it does not embody, nor comprehend, nor behave or act in accordance with. A person who pretends to be someone else in order to deceive others, especially for fraudulent gain. An impostor spirit is the Luciferian or satanic spirit which promotes false light authority and anti-life architecture through deception, lies of omission, manipulation with malice to promote intentional harm, death or destruction to serve its personal agenda. These belief systems are the basis which forms the negative ego and was manifested out of the predator mind of the Orion group. This impostor spirit energy was inserted and imprinted as our false parent, and the spiritual betrayal we have experienced in our heart and soul due to this fact has been crushing for many. Because of the timeline of the impostor invasion, the false parent has manifested physically, ancestrally, genetically and energetically, spiritually, throughout our sense of identity. Without our true spiritual identity and being incarnated into an enslaved reality deception, humanity has existed in a severe identity crisis, unaware of its purpose, unaware of being interfered within its inner source connection. We were tricked into believing the impostor spirit's values and purpose was one of benevolence and love for humanity, when its overall hidden motivation is to enslave and harm us. We will see this revelation of the impostor spirit and false parent ripple throughout all aspects of our societal leadership, and we will need to be strong spiritually and in our personal faith to be able to see the authentic truth. The impostor spirit has hid inside our schools and inside of us. We believe this false parent spirit loved us and cared for us, and we are seeing that is not really true. The impostor spirit is not capable or equipped to know true love or benevolence towards life, towards children, towards humanitarian values.
See, I got to get some
Therefore, with this
investors
pattern
first.
surfacing, this is a very hard and confusing time for humanity to reach this inner spiritual revelation in all areas and walks of life. Discerning spirits. Most people are unaware there are dark spirits that are assigned.
See, you're absolutely right, and I'm going to get to this point where I'm actually setting up like you know, these different classes and stuff like that, but I got to get to that stage first. See, I got to make it through all of these different entities that's coming against me before people can see me for actually what I'm bringing to the table. Nobody can't see what I'm bringing to the table because we got personas like Jaguar Wright throwing dirt on people's tables. You know, she's kicking up her dirt, putting it on other people's tables. She's taking her karma, putting it on other people's tables because she got a PDF mindset. She's putting PDF on everybody else because she's got a predator mindset. She's making everybody else to seem like the predator, but you're watching her prey on people, right? So this is one of those things where you have to show people a real fight for this, right? You have to show people, hey, look at what's happening, right? Pay attention. What have these people taught you over the 4 years? What have you learned from Jaguar Wright over the 4 years that she's been on YouTube? Absolutely nothing. What has it done for you in your real life besides bring anger and pain? She has done absolutely nothing to uplift people. Absolutely nothing. So, some people are not paying attention to it. They're not paying attention to what's actually happening. So you have to have people that's willing to point it out, right? And if you just heard what you just heard, then you realize that this is something that's been going on before us, before we were born into this world. This has been going on, right? Now, we can go over and ask them what have they learned, right? Sitting on Maggie's page for 5 hours, 8 hours, however many hours, what have they learned besides how to hate? So that's what you have to look at. You know, the course of their operation is clear. They aim to destroy, right? So you have to pay attention to the entities. Don't pay attention to the person. Person comes from the Latin word persona. Persona means a mask. So as long as you paying attention to the persona, you're going to have to deal with the mask character that they're pretending to be. I want to teach you about the energies that live inside our vessels so you can see people for who they truly are, right? And the problem is, the more I do this, then the more of them is going to come against me because I'm pointing out who they really is. And they can't escape who they really is, right? Or who they really are. They can't escape that. So they are upset because I am waking you guys up to what you're really dealing with, not who you're dealing with, because you know, you classify these people with titles and accolades and falsitries and so on and so forth. But I want you to see who they really are, what energy they possess. Everyone is generating energy, and your reflection is the energy that you're generating. So if you're if you're generating kindness, you're going to reflect that kindness. If you're generating lust, you're going to reflect that lust. Think about this. How many people have you been around and out of nowhere, they'll make a dirty joke, right? That's because they're in the energy of lust, right? I mean, I make jokes all the time about slanging it, but you don't see me actually out there slanging it because it's a joke, right? But I will slang it. I'm telling you that right now. I slang it, just only to the right people.
Assigned certain purposes by the humans and non-humans who evoke them. We live in a multidimensional world with every kind of spirit force one could imagine. There are spirits of hate, spirits of rape, spirits of poverty, and spirits of pedophilia. We do not want to communicate with these spirits unless we are qualified to perform deliverance, transiting. Most of these collective forces of spirits were earthly humans once, who over time were bound to a consciousness theme, from their own repeated actions of committing the same. It is important to comprehend that absolutely everything on the planet has some type of consciousness or spirit. When you observe it operating en masse in the world, then it means there is a type of consciousness spirit behind that action. There are dark spirits, and there are truth and light spirits. These lower spirits are manipulated and embodied by people. This is the nature of consciousness, so it is important to discern the nature of spirit forces. 1. Aleister Crowley. In ES Ascension terms, we refer to these powers.
Now, you hear Jaguar Wright speak of her studies of Aleister Crowley. You hear her speak highly of him. Even though she's trying to put this on other people, you hear her constantly speak about the teachings of Aleister Crowley, about how he embodied the spirit of Lucifer, Luciferian energy, right? That comes with consciousness. When you hear people embodying spirits, I want you to understand it's a consciousness. The Bible says that the Lucifer or the devil will always appear to you in the form of a man because it's an energy that you build up inside the vessel. So you have to constantly fight this energy off inside of your vessel, right? They allowed themselves to embody lower vibrational entities or consciousness, right? They allowed themselves to body or embody lower vibrational conscious, which makes them unconscious beings. Now, when you look at the separation between a conscious person and an unconscious person, you will actually see the truth. But as long as you're blinded by the persona, as long as you're blinded by this idea of a world, that's your idea of how you want to perceive this. You want to perceive me out to be a liar. You want to perceive me out to be wrong because that's because you're fighting the masculine energy inside your own vessel, right? So therefore they are making up these different things and you can hear it roll off her tongue. You can hear the fight that's going on inside of her. This is why she always say men are stupid, right? She's not giving that individual persona the credit. She's giving it to all men. So she's taking her projection of life and putting it out there and fighting and combating all men. She went after Too Strong. They went after Denot. They went after AT2, right? She's not talking about controversial things. If that was the case, why ain't she do a study on the stuff that Drake is doing, right? Drake is getting caught with underage women left and right. She's not doing a study on that. Academic is going through stuff. She's not doing no lives on that, right? There's other things that's happening, but she's not paying attention to that. She's paying attention to the fight that she wants to create. She wants to create a physical fight with masculine energy. That's her fight. That's not my fight. I accept the feminine energy that is inside my vessel. This is why you see me humble myself repeatedly. This is why you see me, admit if I'm wrong, I apologize for it, right? Have you ever seen them truly apologize for anything? No. It's always just, I said what I said, and that's all it is, right? Have you ever seen them show proof of anything? They're running around trying to make everybody prove themselves to them. Why do everybody have to prove themselves to them? They're not God. I only serve the universe. I don't have to prove myself to man because I don't aim to please man. And the Bible says, when you aim to please man, you'll have many friends. But when you aim to please God, your friends will be few. So I'm okay with a few friends, right? They aim to please mankind. Therefore, they want to be accepted and liked by mankind, right? Hello, hello, hello. How's everything? Love is love. Namaste. Ashe. Salutation. Shalom. Peace. Once again, we are on 2 TikTok pages, 2 YouTube pages, and Twitch, right? These personas want to try to make it seem like someone is afraid of them. I will broadcast the truth on multiple platforms simultaneously. Why? Because we're in the age of knowledge and truth. We're not in the dark ages. We are out of a dark time, right? We are out of that dark time. So it's time that we start operating in the light, right? Now, a lot of people ain't going to like operating in the light because they are dark entities. So they are going to try to fight this new era. They're going to try to go against this transition. And you're watching them fight. You're watching more of them. But look how depressed they look. Look how sad they look. They're drinking alcohol all day. What does that tell you? Alcohol used to be known as spirits, right? So if you're watching them operate with that bottle, then you know that they are operating with low vibrational spirits or entities or consciousness or the lack of consciousness, right? Because although alcohol thins your blood to make your blood run faster, it also drops your consciousness lower. And you're watching this and you're afraid to call them out on their BS. That's not my fault because I operate with integrity. That's not my fault because I operate in the spirit. That's not my fault because I stand in truth and light. That is your fault because you're not taking the proper spiritual discernment to see who it is that you're dealing with. Okay? It's not my fault that you have no discernment. It's not my fault that you choose to see people for a persona instead of seeing people for who they really are. He's now trying to make it seem like donate. I need to take therapy classes. First, it was the fake StreamYard. Then it was the fake, my dog need to go to the vet. Then it was, now she needs therapy after the Murph situation. Well, I need therapy too after the Murph situation. You guys went around for 3 weeks saying that I had CP in my Discord, defaming my character on Maggie's platform, right? But then soon as I address it on her platform, she say, that wasn't me. That was Murph. That was, you allowed him to come up in your space multiple times and put this falsity out there. You didn't clear it up. You didn't say, wait, Murph, don't put that on him. Don't say that's you know what I mean? That's a charge right there. You can't just put that on somebody. But they allowed it to take place because their objective was never about righteousness. Their objective was to try to find some dirt or make up some dirt. So because they couldn't find no dirt on me, they decided to make up dirt on me. And now that the truth is being revealed, now they over there trying to play cleanup as if they didn't allow this to happen. You watch Steph take money from somebody, and then soon as that person questioned whether their money was going to the where they said it was going to, then they kicked them to the curb, right? You're watching them pretend like they care about kids, yet for 3 weeks they all was going around with these pictures in their phones and nobody spoke out against it. Oh, until we expose Murph. Now all of them want to try to make it seem like we been knew that he was wrong. We been knew that he wasn't right. So why didn't you speak up? How many more people was he able to trick while you been knew? Right? The same thing with Jaguar Wright. Jaguar Wright said, I waited to the statute limit of limitation was up on my crimes before I spoke out. So how many people did we lose while you was waiting to save yourself? These are the questions that y'all are not asking, right? How about the fact that Maggie said she was 15 years old talking to a 35-year-old? What was you doing talking to a 35-year-old at 15, right? So you've been using your body and your feminist ways to get what you wanted in this world. You're a Jezebel. You are surely a Jezebel. To sit there and try to keep on praising, I know I look good. I know I look bad. I know I'm sexy. But then you downplay Beyonce. Then you downplay all these other characters. But you the one that look good. You the one that's the best thing smoking. Stop it. Stop it. Be honest with yourself, and other people won't have to be honest with you. Right? So what you're watching, literally, I want you to open your eyes to it. So I'm going to help you. All right? I'm going to help you. Now, once again, it says that if you don't have the ability to deal with these spirits of hate, rage, poverty, pedophilia, all these different spirits, you have to have the ability to cast them out. Now, a lot of different personas might come to you with these different entities in them, but you might not be the one that's able to cast them out. See, they know that I speak with the tongue of truth, so they know I can cast them out. This is why our song is Fighting Demons, right? Because they know I'm not speaking to that person. They know that. See, if you notice on YouTube, they never came for somebody as tough as they're coming for me. You know why they're trying to downplay me and come at me so tough? Because they know the God in me upsets the demons in them. And they're operating on demons. So they know that. You can see it. You can actually see it. That demon in them is like, ooh, he gets on my nerves. Ooh, I can't stand him. Ooh, name one thing I said that was falsified. Every single thing that we pointed out on this platform came out of their mouth. I didn't make them say it. All I did was go back and point it out. Right? They are over there just saying people said stuff, but they're not showing you the proof that this person said it. Why do you think they're not showing you the proof that this person said it? I'm telling you what they said and going back and finding the evidence of them saying it and playing it for you so you can hear them say it out their own mouth. Why are they not doing the same thing? Have you seen any proof over there about the things that they said about people? I want y'all to think about this. Maggie said Selma Bonnie and Amber was the same person. And then yesterday, she asked a spy if she seen me in the Discord talking to all three of them people at the same time. If all three of them people are the same person, then you should have only seen me having a conversation with one person. But the fact that the spy said they seen me in the Discord talking to all three of these people at the same time lets you know that they're covering up lies with lies. Bonnie, Amber, or Selma don't even be in my Discord like that. They might have came to the Discord, but they don't be in my Discord like that, right? But they're telling you that this is the same person. Make it make sense. I need y'all to actually start opening your eyes. And just like Danny Roberts said yesterday, how are you going to say you're a spy in a place that's open to everybody? You're spying in the public. You're a public spy. Oh, that don't strike you as odd? But okay. But okay. It's okay. Because sometimes you just have to, stand back and allow things to reveal themselves according to how they're going to reveal themselves.
Reading the imposter spirit its rights. Open entity transit portal. Feel if this is guided and appropriate. I have created a container to contain these entities and imposter spirit energies, and I now address them fully.
Now, this is how you would go about it inside yourself. This has nothing to do with outside of you, right? This is how you figure out these entities inside you and how you stop them inside of your vessel. Once you start recognizing these energies inside your own vessel, it's easy to see them in the world. So once you recognize these energies inside of you, you also start to see these energies in the world. So really, the fight is inside of you. All you have to do is do exactly what Solomon said, which is basically understanding the 72 demons of the soul of man. Once you start understanding the 72 demons of the soul of man, it's easier to point them out. It's easier to recognize them. It's easier to see them for who they truly are. See, I made it a conscious decision to fight this battle inside myself. So when I came out into this physical understanding of trying to help people see the world that we're living in, I already knew that once I show myself to them, they are surely going to see who I truly am and attack me, right? I already knew that. When I came over here in December, see what they don't want to look at is the fact that I already said this, right? That's what they're not telling you. I already said this. I don't even want to pull it up on TikTok. I don't even want to, but if you go talk to the people that I deal with on TikTok, I told them way back on December 5th, I said, watch this. We're going over to YouTube. I said, Jaguar Wright is messing up the frequency of our ascension, right? Moving into a 5D. I said, now watch me go point this out, right? I came with truth, right? I said, Jaguar Wright stole my bike 31 years ago. It took 2 months, but she finally admits that she stole my bike 31 years ago. She did it through the form of a puppet. She tried to say the muppet confessed to her that she stole my bike. The muppet. You mean the muppet that is you? Think about that. She created a muppet, a persona outside of herself that can take the fall for all of her wrongdoings. Is that not a disturbed mind? That you created a muppet that is going to take the fall for all of your wrongdoings? That's not weird, but okay. I digress. I digress.
Many unconscious human beings are totally unaware they are carrying dead energy, displaced entities, negative alien implants, unaware that they are soul disconnected and mind controlled to limit further consciousness expansion. In other terms, this is enslavement of the person without their consent. This is a form of possession and is the servitude or bondage to the impostor spirit. An impostor spirit can be Luciferian or satanic spirits. This is how spiritual energetic enslavement is manifested. If this persists, combined with continued destructive behavior to the self and others that are repeated as life patterns, the person becomes sucked into a density of painfully low self-esteem, phobias, fears, and addictions. Most of the time that will include layers of astral debris, displaced entities, impersonal elemental forces, and sometimes includes full demonic possession. Being possessed does not generally mean you are levitating off the bed or acting demonic. There is absolutely no shame or guilt applied to this state unless the suffering person applies it from their own state of fragmented confusion. It is through the possession of one's body of which the suffering and pain is greatly increased, until this possession is removed and cleared from your person. There are a million different variations of possession.
Now, a lot of people might say, "What's a possession?" Nobody really knows what's a possession, right? Because we get this false notion of these different movies that they put out there, about different conjurings and so on and so forth. Nobody really has the idea of what this is, right? So we're sitting around and we are going by what was taught to us of what a possession is, right? But if we really dig deep inside of ourselves, we'll start to realize that these energies exist within inside of us. So now you have to see, what energy are you feeding inside your own vessel? What are you feeding in your vessel, right? What are you giving your power to? A lot of people gave their power to lust, greed, gluttony, all of these carnal minded things. They're not feeding the spirit inside their self. They're not feeding the mind and putting knowledge in their vessel to understand it, right? And I go back to this because this is a strong point that I tried to make, right? When I was a teenager, I kept on trying to figure out why. Why did she have so many kids if she wasn't going to take care of us? Why? Why is she not trying to get me back? I beat myself up over these things during my course of 8 different group homes and 3 different foster homes. I made promises to myself that I would not let another kid go through what I went through if I had the power to change it, right? Not knowing that all of my trials and tribulations was meant for me to go through to strengthen me. I wasn't in the understanding of it at the time, right? I was living in regret, revenge, hurt, pain, abandonedness. I was festering in these things. I was the only one that can see myself out of this stuff. No one else, right? So I made a conscious decision to be better, right? I made a conscious decision to try a little harder in this world, right? Not for the sake of the people who put me in these energies, but for the sake of myself, right? I could have sat there and beat myself up. Hell, I could have went to school and started being bad in school. You see a lot of kids, take out stuff in school that they're going through at home, or take out stuff at home what they're going through in school. A lot of adults right now take stuff out on their kids, right? Their kids get in trouble. Do you know how much I sacrifice for you? I got to go to work every day for you, blah, 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 right? You're watching this take place in the world. You're literally watching this take place in the world. Everybody's acting like they scared to speak up on it. Now you have to ask yourself why. Why? Why is people not letting go things of the past? You'll never be able to change that. It's because they got stuck in that mindset. So you're watching a lot of people put stuff on their parents. You're watching a lot of people put stuff on the government. A lot of people, man, my life is messed up. When I stopped seeing racism, when I stopped focusing on it. I stopped seeing it when I stopped focusing on it. I stopped seeing it when I stopped focusing on it. What you focus on is what you get. So because I was focused on it, it seemed to come to me easier. People started being prejudiced towards me more because I was focused on it. Right? So when you realize that you're in charge of shaping the way that you see this world, you'll stop focusing on frivolous things. I can't help what's in another person's heart, right? But it's up to me to determine what's in that person's heart, not to place it in my heart, right? So because someone aimed to dislike you, you now dislike them. Does that make sense? That means you're becoming the same thing that you're fighting against. Those type of things I never really understood. I never really understood how people became the same thing that they were fighting and then made it seem like that they were better than what they were fighting. If you operate on hate, then you are a hateful spirit. If you operate and you're watching this repeat in this world, some elder people think that you need to go through the same stuff that they went through. That's why you have those conversations that take place where somebody of the youth says that this is the way of the world, and then somebody say, back in my day, you had to be tough. Back in my day, we got whoopings. Well, we're not in your day anymore, right? I don't have to lay a finger on my son because I can see when I yell at him, I see how he feel bad, right? So I know that that's not his operation, right? My 13-year-old, I can yell at him and he'll start crying. Why would I need to put my hands on him if he already feels it with my words, right? It doesn't make sense. So you have to figure out that person's operation and deal with them accordingly. You can't go around giving ass whoopings to people that don't operate on ass whoopings, right? It's just going to build that resentment towards you, right? So I took the time to analyze the person that I'm dealing with. And then I deal with him accordingly. Now, my oldest son, he got so tired of me talking to him and sitting him at the table. When he was about 6 years old, he said, Dad, sometimes when I be bad, you just got to whoop me. And I laughed at that. We sitting at the table, I'm talking to him because I'll talk my kids' heads off, right? And he just looked at me. He said, Dad, sometimes when I be bad, you just got to whoop me, right? He's 18 now. My other son is 17, and the one I got with me now is 13. My biological kids is grown. I got 2 biological sons. They're grown. I got a daughter that's 20 something. She's not mine biologically, but I was in her life since she was 2. Right? Now, I say that to say everybody's not the same. We can't keep dealing with each other the same way if everybody's not the same. You got to deal with them accordingly. Needless to say, I didn't whoop them. I laughed about it. I laughed. Whenever I would yell at my oldest son when he was younger, and I'll yell at him, he'll start to smile. You know how some people, like, it's a nervous thing. He'll start to smile when I start yelling. And I'll be like, what the hell are you laughing about? Right? So one day he was about to get in trouble. And I said, Sincere, if you start smiling, and he grabbed his face, he was like, right, to try to stop himself from smiling, which made me laugh because I'm like, just go, just get out, just get out. But that's why I say you have to be careful when dealing with these different personas, these different entities, because they will try to put you in frustration. They will try to make it seem like the things that you're doing is not working. They'll try to make it seem like, all of your efforts are, frivolous, right? Because their intentions aren't pure. Jaguar Wright don't have pure intentions, Madagascar don't got pure intentions. Madagascar don't even care about the people that's donating to her. She don't even care about the people that's giving her money. She care about the money. Make it wane, make it wane. That's what she care about. Another means to make money. Yes, give me money because Danny Robinson. Now that Danny said, if you keep using my name to get money, you're going to have to give me half of that money. Now she's trying not to use Danny's name. Now it's, I need therapy. Donate to my therapy. Right? So that goes to shows the greed. She ain't even trying to break bread with Danny Robinson, and she been using Danny Robinson's name to get money for how many weeks now? First of all, I want to point out, no one knows who Madagascar is. It's only because we started pointing out that Jaguar Wright is false. It's only because we started saying that Jaguar Wright is victimizing victims. Then all of a sudden, Maggie starts talking about everybody that's pointing out Jaguar Wright's wrongs, trying to draw attention to herself so that way Jaguar Wright can operate in secrecy. Right? Think about that. She took a fight up that's not her own fight. Now she's over there fighting tooth and nail for all Jaguar Wright's lies. For what? That means Maddie don't have proper discernment. That means Maddie is not as smart as she says she is. If you're sitting there fighting for somebody that's not fighting for you, what's going on? No one knows who Maddie is. No one knew who she was. I came over to point out the games and the manipulation that Jaguar Wright was doing. And then all of a sudden, a Madagascar comes out of the woodworks, starts talking about me. They want to overlook the fact that Jaguar Wright talked about my deceased mom. They want to overlook the fact that Jaguar Wright said, F my kids, and she was going to do something to get my kids taken away. They want to overlook all of these factors. So they justify Jaguar Wright's actions and make it seem like it's a righteous thing. And then they try to downplay you for defending yourself against their unrighteous acts. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. And then when you start digging into them, and then it's like they want to play the victim after that. Nobody told Maggie to go around and tell Stephanie, tell everybody that was getting up on her panel. She's like, did you see RalphDawise? Did you see what RalphDawise posted? That for weeks before I started talking about Maggie, she was doing this. That little England girl that came over, the biker chick that rode bikes or something like that, her name was Stephanie too. She started talking to her about me. Did you see this guy that said Jaguar Wright stole his bike 31 years ago? Yeah, this imbecile. This started talking shit about me. Off the rip. And now they're upset because I'm exposing the fact that they're scammers. Well, you should have left well enough alone. Now she's trying to force me to put out her nude pictures so they can say it's revenge corn. That's what she's trying to do now. So now she's trying to entice or antagonize me more so that way I can keep on going at her so she can say, look. Please give me some money. Please give me some money. She's willing to do anything to put herself in a victim point of view. I was great when I was 13, but you was 15 years old talking to a 35-year-old. How did something happen when you was 15? How did something happen to you when you was 13, but you was still talking to a grown-ass man when you was 15? What? Y'all don't see how nothing they say makes sense? So something took place that should have scared you from dealing with men when you was 13, but you still decided to deal with a man when you was 15, a grown man. And my mom takes that 35-year-old off with a bat. Why was you talking to a 35-year-old at 15? None of y'all are asking these questions. Now I got to ask myself, why aren't y'all asking her these questions? Because y'all lack integrity. That's why. You watched her talk about all the victims that's on here. You watched her downplay Allie Carter. You watched her downplay everything that all these other victims was going through. When Sandra came over there and said she had a stroke, she told Sandra to shut up. When Amber came over and told her story, they try to push Amber to unalive herself. Make it make sense. Y'all got to start making this stuff make sense. I don't need this stuff to make sense to me. I need y'all to make sense of why y'all following these personas around that shows you they're no good, shows you that they're lying, right? And this is how fast she lied. Right after she heard Sandra's story, she then dropped down that live, started another live where she says, my dad had 3 strokes and he can't read now. And that's Sandra's story. Sandra just told that same story. How you steal Sandra's story that quick and give it to your dad? They're identity thieves. They are truly identity thieves. They will hear what you... This is why Jaguar Wright want more victims to come to her, so she can sit there and steal their stories and then go perpetrate their stories. Look at the TJ story. TJ was snatched up a couple of times and trafficked a couple, according to TJ, right? And now Jaguar Wright talking about Trevor Green kidnapped her 4 times. But in that story, you can hear the lie in the story. She says, we had a van at that time. Hold on, wait a minute. If it's a we thing, that means you was in a relationship with this person that you saying napped you. That's not making sense. Was you in a relationship with him or did he nap you? That's why I say y'all got to pay attention. That's why I say y'all got to pay attention. And they're mad at me because I'm the voice of reason and I'm pointing it out. You think they want somebody pointing out all their lies? Because this makes them second guess what they're going to say, what they're going to lie about. They want the ability to lie freely on this platform. But when you got somebody like me pointing out all their lies in real time, now they got to be cautious of what they say. You think they want somebody like me pointing out all their lies in real time? And we do that in the Discord. We sit and watch them lie in real time in the Discord. That's why they're trying to come against the Discord, because they know that there's truth about them in the Discord. They want to be able to get on here and tell you whatever story that they want to sell you. And you got to buy into that. Look how many different platforms they done made. Their followers are not allowed to go to other people's platforms or be seen in other people's chats. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? That means they're a cult. If you're not allowed to operate yourself freely, then you are a part of a cult. You can't go to these platforms. I seen you over here. You was commenting in their comment section. You got a membership over there. I shouldn't see you in these spaces. You should just be on Set in the West, the Jaguar Wright Effect, the Jaguar Wright Show, Madagascar page, and this new page that they're coming up with. So they want all your time and attention and money. Don't give it to nobody else. Right? Wolf Coochie, Jaguar, they want to be writers, producers, actors, They want to direct the movie. They want to be authors of books. They want to be journalists. They're not picking one genre to stay in. They think they can do everything. Why do you think Jaguar get kicked out of the band? Because she thinks she can play every instrument in the band. You can't. You can't. We gave you the cymbals for a reason, Jaguar. That's why you got the cymbals. All you got to do is ting, ting, ting. That's all we want you to do. We don't want you to play the trumpet, nor do we want you to touch them drums. You got the thimble. Play the hell out of that thimble. Rock that thimble. Horn in on your craft. We didn't give you all the other instruments. We gave you the thimble. You get what I'm saying? Well, why can't I play the trumpet? Because you're not good at it. Well, let me beat on the drums. No. Pay attention. Pay attention.
Encased the idea that my evil thoughts go unpunished. As I sort through the rubbish, my days of thugging get slow and ruggish. Idolizing puppets who control the public like a controlled substance. Bullets in abundance, anticipating what I know is coming. All of a sudden, my past is blurring, my future is sudden. Dark and muddy, hoping for sunny, I'm still running. To find peace. To find peace. Fighting these demons. You know, lately a nigga been fighting a whole lot of demons. A lot of shit we do gonna have consequences, but we gotta be ready for them. Emergency, I just got out of surgery. I'm having problems with my heart and it won't work. I did some shit in my past and it's cursing me. I'ma stay right here on this plastic, God take breath from me. I'm sipping his hand and eat this pain, but it ain't helping me. My little nigga going against the grain and that shit stressing me. I pray to God, let God have mercy. I'm living a crazy life. I just shot at a nigga for talking some shit on the gang, keep paying the price. I was young in the rush for the money, my hunger for paper saved my life. And that shit can save tonight. If you want that lick shit, we can get rich, people, we can get paid tonight. Dollar bill, y'all. Everybody want the money, everybody want this shit.
Everybody want the money, but don't wanna go down.
You'll do anything to get it. Shit, gotta think about it. 187. Murder by you killed the nigga. You don't know if you gon' go to heaven. Gotta chalk that shit over, real talk. Hey, fight my demons, fight my demons. So many demons. Me against these demons. Against these demons. Fight my demons, fight my demons, fight in mine. It's me against these demons, demons. Me against these demons.
Whoa.
I'm fighting these demons up in this ghost. I'm fighting these demons, I'm on the ropes. They came with a beam up under my coat. Get hit in the spleen if you want to smoke. That money be green, so niggas don't go. I'm looking so clean, I used to be broke. Remember they laughed at me and they choked. Gave them the ball and nigga they chose. Say it was turn, that nigga you go. My little nigga don't follow no code.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what we do over here. We got to fight and point out these demonic entities. And y'all stop saying that I don't show my face or keep my camera on. Look, the background is clean, right? I don't like showing myself. But I ain't an ugly person. All right. So for those who are trying to paint the narrative of some carnal minded stuff, right? The reason why I don't show my camera is because I want you to hear what I'm saying. Okay. I want people, I don't want people to operate in the carnal. I actually want you to hear me, right? I don't want you to sit there, oh man, Oh man, he dressed well. Oh man, what's this? What's that? What's this? What's that? Oh, look at his backdrop. Look at, I want you to hear me. Okay? I want you to hear me. Right? I fall in love with people's minds. I never been a carnal minded person. I always fall in love with somebody's mind first. Right? So that's why I keep my camera off. Because I want you to hear the person that you're dealing with. I want you to hear the energy of me. I don't want you to get caught up in the vessel that I'm in. Okay? I don't want you to get caught up in the vessel that I'm operating out of. I want you to know me. A lot of people will never allow you to get to know them. I want you to know me, right? So I'm not a ugly looking person. I'm not unattractive. I'm not, funny body built. I do have like a decent set of abs. Well, I mean, you might not be able to see them right now, but you know, by April, when it's time to peel off the shirt for the beaches, my abs will be back. I always put on a little winter weight, I always put on a little winter weight, but then, around that springtime comes, I share it, shave it off. So, uh, yeah, I'm not like, I look just like my avatar. I mean, take off the glasses because I got my contacts in, but I look just like my avatar. I'm not putting up a false avatar to try to paint a false picture of me. You see, my name is RalphDawise, so my name is literally in my name. I'm not out here trying to be a fake, persona. Everything I do is operation of the light. All of my link trees, you don't have to look far to find me. Um, I'm unauthentically me. But the problem is these people would like to steal your likeness and image and intellectual properties and then make you feel like you're not the person who you are. But they can't do that with me because I truly know who I am. Right? The fires that's going on in South Carolina is happening nowhere near me. It's been beautiful days over here by the lake, so on and so forth. I don't know. I've seen people say that these fires are, happening in South Carolina. I I don't keep track of the fear factors in this world. I try to keep people out of that fear, right? They're going to do everything in this world to keep you placed in fear. That keeps you in your root chakra, your fight or flight, uh, centuries. So I try to keep people out of that. I try not to focus on that. There's a lot that's about to change in this verse, right? And on the internet, there's a lot of fear mongering going on. I don't want to be a part of that fear mongering, and I don't want my collective to be a part of it. This is why I tell people in the Discord, we don't traumatize, we don't trauma bond over here, right? Even though we might tell each other stories to get to understand each other better, we don't do the trauma bonding, right? Trauma bonding is what's causing people to stay in those circuits of their self. So if we are going to uh, move into a greater future, we have to realize what it is that people are doing so you can stay out of those realms, right? You don't want to go build up the energy of trauma bonding with people because now you have a connection with them on a lower vibrational frequency. You don't have a connection with them. You have a connection with them of feeling sorry for them, right? So now your relationship is based off of the fact that you feel sorry for them because you know what they've been through because you've been through something similar. It's a loop. It's a loop that you keep on putting yourself in. Why do you think they sit there and attack people? They'll sit there and attack people, and then when someone, says, I had enough and attack them back, they play victim. But then nobody else can play victim over there but Magic. No one's else the victim over there but Magic. That's why she sit there and talk to her chat like that. Don't come with it happened to me. I made my mistakes. But then she sit there and cry. This happened. I finally trusted somebody. I trusted Murph, and I thought you said he was your fake fiance. Now you want us to have real emotions for a fake situation. Make it make sense. How do you want us to push real emotions out on a situation you said yourself was fraudulent? Make that make sense. She wants you to have real emotions for her fake situation. If you pretending, then it shouldn't be no love lost. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, that's something that took place on YouTube, TikTok. I'm sorry. I'm on 4 different pages, right? 5 different pages right now at the same time. So I'm sorry if you are not up to par with everything that's been going on YouTube. Feel free, TikTok, to go over to RalphDawise on YouTube. That is Ralph DAYS on YouTube. Drop a follow. We are 25 people away from 1K. So if you guys can go over there, TikTok, and drop a follow at RalphDawise, it will be greatly appreciated. All right. I seen that $5 donation too. I appreciate it. Whoever just sent that to the Cash App. But yeah, go over to RalphDawise on YouTube. We are trying to hit 1K before the end of the day. So as many people from TikTok put themselves in operation to go drop a sub over there. A sub is free, right? So if you can go over there and drop a sub, much appreciated. We are operating on 2 different pages on TikTok, 2 different pages on YouTube, and 1 page on Twitch. And when I figure out Kick, we'll be operating on Kick. And we'll even go back to Facebook and start doing Facebook lives. We'll do Instagram lives. It doesn't even matter because we are in the age of knowledge and truth under the Aquarius sky. These people can't stop this wave if they wanted to. All right. So although they sit there and try to transgress against me, guess what? All they're doing is showing themselves, right? That's all they're doing. So it's getting bad right now for them because the more that they focus on me, the more the universe sees them for what they are, and their karma is coming back to them. Their karma is coming back to them. Their lies are catching up to them. They can't lie fast enough. You see, by operating in real time, they can't get back out in front of this. So since we came over here in December, pointing out their lies in real time, now they're trying to catch up with us. Whereas though previously they can tell you some stuff that happened a year ago, 2023, so on and so forth with those recordings that Jaguar got. But now that we're operating in real time, pointing out their lies in real time, they're playing catch up. They're trying to catch up to where we at, which is operating in real time. They can't do it. See, I know inside my vessel, time doesn't exist. Although a form of time exists outside of me, it doesn't exist inside of me. You get what I'm saying? That time, that it doesn't exist inside of me, right? So they're looking at my carnal traits and saying, damn, he would be good to have because he's intellectual, he does research, so on and so forth, and he's a masculine voice, right? So they would love for somebody like me to join them. That's when you're ascendant master, when you know your spiritual abilities, you'll realize that the dark wants you just as much as the light wants you. Just as well as I can be a weapon for the light, I could have been a weapon for their darkness. And the darkness will love to have a weapon like me, but I don't give in to that. I stand by integrity, right? I have a spiritual discernment and a moral compass. There's a conscience inside of me that makes me question unrighteous things. You know, that's just what it is. They're not operating in goodness. They don't care about the people that's in their groups. How many times did she call somebody a B? How many times did she tell people to suck her D? If you've been sexually assaulted at the age of 13, why are you doing that? Why are you sexualizing everything? She watched a cartoon and sexualized the cartoon. At the time that cartoon was out, you shouldn't even been thinking about that. You shouldn't been thinking about Naruto being with Sasuke. Why are you thinking about Naruto being with Sasuke? That's sick. That is sick. You thinking about boy on boy shit. That's sick. But y'all overlooked that. Y'all overlooked that. That's okay though. It just goes to show you how their mind works. I'm going to point out how these entities' mind work, and that's what they don't like. I'm pointing out their operation. I'm showing you that they're false. I'm pointing out their failed operation, right? Oh shit.
And recognize the real consciousness energy that is possessing and using the human body. Remember, every
Yeah,
person has
food
the
and
right to live
cartoons.
and exist without being terrorized by the intimidation and bullying tactics of the anti-human consortium of the NAA. To decree the law in the presence of the fallen entity, you must state your full intent, consent, and authority to be aligned to the will of God, power of Christ to enact and enforce the universal book of the law, through the holy and true Father of God. These negative energies may surface into present view for observation in many ways, so pay attention. They exist in the NAA classification, fallen angelic hierarchy, or exist within lower classes of satanic spirit hierarchies that are controlled by these dark higher-ups in the galactic plane. The absolute key for any galactic warrior is to be fearless and command your personal space with conviction and dedication to God in your heart, as a fierce and unwavering representative of love, freedom, sovereignty, and all things that are the real virtues of the spirits of Christ. You are in effect defending our space and defending your spiritual light from parasitism, intrusion, and the forces of tyranny that exist as the Antichrist and anti-human. In the process of spiritual deliverance, it is more effective to demand the entity and spirit of servitude reveal its name to your person, when you challenge the identity in the power and authority of the Christ Spirit and in accordance to the book of the law of the Holy Father of God. If this is necessary, be commanding and extremely firm. When confronted by one of the minions of one or more of these fallen angelics hierarchies, ask loudly and in commanding tone, I challenge you in the power and name of the Christ, what is your name? Sometimes, you will need to say this repeatedly, loudly, until you get a name. Do not listen to anything else that they say, and remember they are liars and deceivers. There is no space to allow them any room. When confronted or in the presence of a member of this fallen angelic hierarchy, under no uncertain circumstances, refuse its access to your body, mind, home, children, and never allow it to have access to your energetic field. When involved in such spiritual procedures, you cannot back down. It is up to you to tell it exactly where it has to go. When you get its name, or other information that gives you the detail of its authority of origin, then immediately read it rights. For each entity you discover, you must read it your rights and call it out by its name to be transited. This procedure of spiritual deliverance can be repeated often. When you read its rights, you are delivering it from bondage in the book of the law. When you command and obey the law of one and power of Christ as your 100% authority on this planet.
Okay, after I get done, I'll take you outside. But you better not keep on bugging me.
In group research during planetary emancipation grid work using HGS sessions in collaboration with Crystal Star, We have challenged the following identities of fallen angelic hierarchies and assortment of NAA reptoid families that have treaties or designed to control the Earth grid or human beings in certain demographic locations of the Earth field, in multiple dimensions.
So right now, if you are up to par with everything that's going on, they did tell us that we operate in multiple dimensions. They said, hey, some people are down here operating in multiple dimensions, right? Drax, I just said I'll take you outside in a minute. Okay? All right? Yes. You need to chill out, my boy. Chill out. You spoiled. See how spoiled he is? He want me to hold him and scratch him. Okay, go. Then don't act spoiled then. You act like a baby, I'm gonna treat you like a baby.
Amaimon, Amzi, Behemoth, Bayola, Belnato, Bethista, Bojols, Brado, Braden.
Now we can get into this. These are different.
Demons or fallen angelics are a part of the human and non-human collective consciousness on the earth and exist as Mons, are a part of the impostor spirits, may have been either a human or non-human, also comprise those separated from their souls, or discarnate spirits which have never inhabited a human body. Demons may be regarded as material corporeal beings, as they are lower spirit beings, which are not inspirited by the breath of God, nor exist in the higher celestial realms. Humans and non-humans can conjure these spirits and then become possessed by them and their material or negative nature, especially if they are not mentally clear and emotionally balanced. 2. References. HGS 7.
Now, when you go into this, of course, all of the things that we were taught, all of the things that we have, become to know of this verse, it might not be the same as which you think it is, right? You got to be careful. You got to be careful with dealing with these entities, right? And this goes back into the laws of self, right? If you want to look up anything, I suggest that you look up cosmic laws, laws of the cosmos, or universal laws, right? There's 12 universal laws, but inside those 12 laws, it's 12 more laws. This is where the 144 comes in. Everybody knows 12 times 12 is 144, right? So there's 12 with inside the 12. That also is inside your body, right? So through your 12 strands of DNA comes 144 harmonic chromosomes or harmonic frequencies of the body. So you have to understand these harmonic frequencies of your vessel so that way people won't play your harp, right? The harp was an instrument that literally was telling us about the 12 strings of frequencies of the vessel. And this goes back to Jack and the Beanstalk. Jack went up to the beanstalk. He had a choice of two things. One was the harp, the other one was the goose that laid the golden egg. Although they wanted to give him the harp, he didn't want that. He stole the goose that laid the golden egg, went back down this beanstalk, which is a notion of your kundalini, right? The serpent that rises inside the vessel and into the heavens, right? He came back down with material knowledge, carnal ways, which goes back to the same story of the Canaanites taking on and praising a golden calf. This story is repeated over and over again. Why? Because eventually you'll get it. That's why it's repeated over and over again. So Jack went up and he got materialistic knowledge. He came back down. In fear, he cut the beanstalk. So that's the same thing as the serpent being punished to coil or crawl on its belly. The serpent is your kundalini energy that is at the base of your spine on its belly, right? That kundalini energy is no longer punished with being at the base of your spine. So now your kundalini is rising back up. In other words, the beanstalks are growing again. So someone has got some magic seeds. They gave up that calf, right? You hear the story right there in Jack and the Beanstalk. He sold the calf to get the magic beans that he planted that grew his beanstalk. So he gave up the material calf for a dream or a idea, right? That grew the beanstalk that led into the heavens. That's the same story that's been repeated over and over again. So once you realize that what is always was and always will be, then you'll start understanding this world a little bit greater. They tell you this same story in Goku, the story of Dragon Ball Z. This is seven Dragon Balls that's uh spaced out, and whoever gets all the seven Dragon Balls and put them back together gets to meet Shimron. Shimron happens to be a long serpent that literally goes in the sky in the figure 8, and Shimron gives you one wish after you put the seven Dragon Balls together. Well, ironically, your vessel has seven chakra systems that you must put back together. Ain't that ironic that the same story keeps on revolving over and over and over again? It's okay. It's okay. Eventually, we'll put this together. Hey, TikTok, I need about 20 more people to go over to YouTube. Go over to RalphDawise on YouTube. Drop a sub. It will be greatly appreciated. We just need 20 more people. Yes, Kundalini Rising. Um, and this is where you get in touch with your Akashic records. This is where you find your Akashic records, so on and so forth. Anybody on YouTube like to support this knowledge and wisdom? Here's the Cash App right here. Peace of God 1111 is the Cash App, and this is the PayPal that you can send it to. I will be adding my email to this PayPal, but the reason why I didn't add my email to this PayPal is because I know that Jaguar, Wolf Coochie, all of them, I know what they're really doing with people's emails and stuff. They are hacking into people accounts, hacking into people Gmail accounts, right? I have got numerous firewall notifications about these people trying to hack into my accounts, right? Due to the fact that this is a business account, it is protected by different variations of firewalls. So I know that they're doing electronic transactions. I know that this fake AP technology and stuff like that, that's why they keep on trying to get people's emails. That's why they keep on saying, send me your email, right? You know how when you click on something in your email, let's say someone send you an email that says you just won $1,000 something, and you click on it thinking that you really won $1,000 something, and all of a sudden money start coming up missing out your bank account. Yeah. So that's why Ronnie Bo was getting people emails. That's why Murph was getting people emails, so on and so forth, right? This is how scammers work. They get your email, someone calls you, asks you a bunch of questions. They start asking you questions like, well, what your first dog? What was your first dog's name? Right? Because these are questions that you would ask in order to find out somebody's password, or the three questions that they ask you. You know, they ask you your mother's maiden name. You know the three questions that you pick when you made your Gmail account or whatever, right? So these are the things that they do. First, they get your email, and then they start acting like they're trying to get to know you, but really they're trying to find out what your password can be. They're trying to find out, yes, your pet name, so on and so forth, right? This is the stuff that they're trying to do. So these people are not operating differently. They're operating the same that they always do. This is why they always say, well, send me an email. Well, send me an email. Murph tried to get me to email him. Murph tried to get me to email him. That's why I said I'm already ahead of y'all. I know what you're trying to do. This is why Ben said this. They know I'm pointing this stuff out, and that's why they're trying to get me out the way. That's why all of a sudden it's a he's this, he's that. They don't want nobody to come over here and get the truth. They don't want people to come over here. Email, Murph. I'm 20 steps ahead of you already. You only dropped your email so I can try to send you an email so then you can try to make it seem like somebody was hacking into your stuff. Because now that y'all know the feds is watching y'all want to try to deflect and put all the crimes that y'all was committing on somebody else. The fact that y'all been hacking into people's accounts, using their email, ain't that why Ronnie Bo asked for everybody to send him an email or do that text now number shit, right? Everybody knows that scammers use your email and then small variations of information, right? So y'all are on here looking to get to know people so y'all can scam. The screen not popping up again? Hold on. Sorry. Scam them. Nobody's stupid. That's why you told my email for him, Murph. You know why you dropped your email, Murph. I'm 20 steps ahead of you already. You only dropped your email so I can try to send you an email so then you can try to make it seem like somebody was hacking into your stuff. Because now that y'all know the feds is watching y'all want to try to deflect and put all the crimes that y'all was committing on somebody else. The fact that y'all been hacking into people's accounts, using. This is why you heard Jaguar say nobody's going to get me caught up on wire fraud, or because they know it's getting real close. They know it's getting real close. That's why they say nobody's going to get me on wire fraud transactions and da 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 da, because they know it's getting close. Now all of them is trying to throw somebody else up under the bus, and hopefully that would suffice, right? So with this ADA scam and everything else going on, they thought that they can just make Murph take the bulk of this, right? That's why Jaguar Wright said that Murph was the contact between ADA, but that's not true. If you go back to the ADA situation when it first came about, Stephanie is the only one that's in contact with ADA. Stephanie was the one talking to Ada's boyfriend, saying that Ada's boyfriend sent her a message and she talked to Ada. Anytime Murph said something, Murph said, I talked to Stephanie, and Stephanie said, Ada's out of the coma. Murph said, I talked to Stephanie, and Stephanie said, Ada sent her a message. Murph was relaying the stuff that Stephanie was saying. So for Jaguar to sit up there and say Murph was the only contact, but originally Maggie said Stephanie is the contact to Ada, and then she told Stephanie, send me everything on this that you have. So therefore, that's telling you that Stephanie was the point of contact, right? That's why they're all crashing out right now, because I am not only pointing this out, I'm not letting y'all just throw us Murph. No, all of y'all are going to have to humble yourself and change y'all actions. All of y'all. Y'all ain't about to hide this up under Murph and just make it seem like Murph was the one that brought up this Stephanie thing. No, this was a the Ada thing. This was a Maggie and Stephanie move. Murph was just the person that they choose to take the downfall for this. This is Maggie and Stephanie. And now that Murph done compromised them by sending them inappropriate pictures of his kids to their phone, now they're trying to wrap all of that up, right? But why ain't nobody speak about it when you knew he was falsifying this information? As long as you thought that Murph was going to take me down, y'all was willing to carry on with that lie. But now you see that he can't. So now you want to throw him under the bus and try to save face. No, all of y'all are going to get pointed out. I'm not stopping until all of y'all get pointed out. And y'all think y'all the only ones scamming? You know how many scammers I ran across over the last 3 years of being on these applications? I ran across people on TikTok that tried to use me to help them, telling me to make a link tree for them, telling me to make a GoFundMe for them, knowing damn well that GoFundMe leads back to my IP address. So as soon as they get caught up with the bullshit, guess who they try to get to take the fall for it? Me, because that GoFundMe leads to my IP address, right? I ran across a gentleman who was scamming out of his car. He's a homeless singer. He pretends to be in a car, singing from a car. For 20 years, he's been fake singing from this car for grifting, getting money, fraudulent scheming. I ran across another group out of Atlanta that was doing what's it called? Scavenger hunt scams, right? This ain't the first group I ran across. Y'all think I came over here on some titty lolly boo shit? No, I've been fighting scammers online. I've been calling them out online. I've been pointing them out online. This ain't the first group I ran across. They're just mad because I point out the truth. And once people start seeing it, they'll stop donating. So they know their pockets have taken a hit. They know that. That's why Maggie struck my page. As soon as I brought up that 86.2K page, she struck my page. That's why she did that. Because she knows, oh, snap. He's pointing it out. That's why she struck my page. Let me see if I got the video up on here. She knows she got an 86. That's why she don't like Paula now. Because she knows Paula can expose her. Paula can literally point out the fact that Maggie got an 86.2K page right here. Maggie. I told you, Maggie, you might want to leave me alone, right? I told you that. I said, don't let me start digging and looking up stuff for you, right? Atlas, download the video screenshots. What do you mean? What do you mean download the video screenshot? So look, Maggie, this is a whole page that you was on, sponsored by everything. This page was made for you. Huh? This was made for you.
To be able to stream on StreamYard.
Look at this page, Maggie. It literally says, let's go into details. Let's click on the details of this, right? This is you, right, Maggie? Welcome to the Wise Black Owl. As a wise black Maggie. So Maggie, so Maggie already had StreamYard. Maggie already had this stuff before she started scamming with Jaguar, making it seem like she didn't have StreamYard. And everybody help me get StreamYard. Donate to the StreamYard, right? She already had StreamYard. It was no need for her to scam money off of people for something that she already had. That means it's fraudulent schemes. When you have somebody collecting money, but the money didn't go to what she collected for, that's fraudulent. That's scamming. That means I gave you my money with the help of you getting StreamYard and you already had it. Yeah, that's fraudulent. That's like crowdfunding for something and then not putting the money back into what you crowdfunded for. That's fraudulent. That's scamming. That is wire fraud, electronic transactions, right? So for them to sit over there and say, you donated, that's my money. No. If you tell me that the money is going to something and it don't go to it, that's fraudulent and scheming. You can't say, if it was a donation, then you would say, just donate freely, right? Just like I'm saying. Anybody that want to donate, the Cash App and the PayPal is at the bottom of the screen, right? But if I tell you that this money is going towards something, and then I don't put it towards that of what it's going to, that means I fraudulently and electronically siphoned money from you and didn't put it to what I said it was going to, right? Which is scamming, right? So that's how that works. Anyone on TikTok, would you please go over to RalphDawise on YouTube, drop a follow or drop a sub on RalphDawise. That is RalphDawise, right? We are operating on 2 pages on TikTok, 2 pages on YouTube, and 1 page on Twitch. Love is love. Namaste, Ashe, salutation, shalom. And remember, you got to have proper discernment in this new atmosphere. If we're under the Aquarius sky, you better have proper discernment. And Maggie, she can say whatever she wants to say to try to get me to come back up on her panel. She knows the moment I come back up on her panel, it's not going to be a conversation with me and her. She's trying to get me back over there so she can pull 7 people up on the panel, right? These people say that I'm scared to come up over there or whatever. They know that I make the show. They know that. That's why they're trying to get me to come back up over there, because they know I make the show, right? Now they're trying to get me to pop back up over there, trying to say all types of stuff. He's a pussy. He's this. He's that. Yeah, I know. Use all of your carnal-minded ways to try to make somebody in their feelings so I can come up there with rage or come up there with anger. I have emotional intelligence. You know what I mean? I won't let them play on me like that. That's why every time I went over there, I stood in right. And they know that. From the first time that I went up on their page, they know that. They know. That's why Ayasha comes up and say, I want to talk to Ralph. That's why Jaguar come up and say, get Ralph back over here. That's why you got the new characters that's popping up. Jay Wizak, Jay Wack, whatever his name is. He pop up and start saying stuff about me and don't even know me, right? You got the other dude, Pew Pew, whatever his name is. He pop up. And you can tell that all of them are operating in feminine energy. You can tell. That's a panel full of women. Even when Wolf is up there and Murph was up there, you still seen a panel full of feminine energy. They know what they doing. I don't have to keep on putting myself in their spaces. They know what it is I represent. That's why all of them are trying to put lies on me. Their lies can't stand in the light. And every time they lie on me, things come back to them tenfold. So every time they lie on me one time, 10 of their truths get revealed. And that's why they mad. They know what they fighting against. They fighting against truth and light. They not fighting me. They fighting against truth and light. And they getting their butt whooped.
This means if we hold a thought form and behaviors that vibrationally matches Luciferian intentions or satanic intentions at the same or equal vibration or frequency level, this is the consent that one has given to be in authority or exchange with those same forces. As an example, one may go to church and pray to God for help, and then go home and engage in self-destructive habits, addiction, sexual misery programs, yell at their spouse, or whatever else. Then the person wonders why they cannot feel any spiritual support or God connection. One may ask for consent and authority to be with God, however, as this example represents, It is the accumulative choices that we make in our thoughts and behaviors that ultimately energetically align us to the force we are in consent with. This highlights.
You hear that? You hear that right there? It just said that it said, for example, one might go to church and praise God, but then go back and contribute to destructive habits, addiction, sexual misery programs, so on and so forth, right? It's the same thing that they're doing. Even though Jaguar Wright's words say that she served Yahweh, her actions don't reflect that. She's not doing everything in her power to be at peace with one another. She's not turning the other cheek. She's not, feeding her enemy as the biblical text says, right? She's operating in addiction, right? Different variations of sexual misery programs. This is why she pegs everyone that she's in a relationship with, right? This is why she convinces them to get pegged, right? That's the energy that she really represents. She don't represent no energy that's Christ-like or God-like, right? So you're seeing what she serves. You're seeing what energy she serves, right? But because she say, I'm a follower of the Sabbath, but you're not showing exemplary measures of that following of the Sabbath. I'm Muslim. I took my Shahada. Yeah, Muslim religion is a peaceful religion. You're not practicing peace or operating in peace, right? I follow Yahweh. Yet you're not exhibiting examples of that, right? So don't be fooled by these people's words as they call on different variations of God. Your energy, what you reflect, is going to get you closer to God, right? How you carry yourself is going to get you closer to God. God said, how can you love me who you have never seen, yet hate your brother who you see every day? You're watching examples of this. They're showing themselves to you of what energy they operate in, right? So you got to be very cautious with these personas. You got to be very, very cautious with these personas. They don't have good intentions, not for you, not for nobody. So you got to be careful. You have to be very, very careful. Oh, that's good right there. I don't know. You put Lady Letitia on there. That's kind of, I don't know if I can. And we can't talk about Atwood's channel right now because he's going through court. So he's striking anybody that's talking about his channel because he's going through, he's about to have. All right. We'll talk about that in the Discord later. So yeah, these different variations of personas that we're dealing with, you got to open your eyes to them. You have to see them for what they really are. And if you're having spiritual discernment. Now, for those who want to get
Highlights
caught
the
up,
importance of choosing one's authority and therefore one's intentional consent and authority every day, to help overcome the negative thoughts one may have as you learn to discipline the mind from negative ego and predator mind thoughts. As we discipline our mind daily by discerning spiritually healthy thought forms that are suggested in the GSF behavior and the law of one, we get stronger to build our spiritual house, which is building our structure, as obeying the law of structure. One has the right to build their personal space to comply with one's personal consent, as given through accumulative thoughts and behaviors in the law of consent, which decide which forces are used in the building of the internal and external structure, through the law of structure. What we give our consent to is what we give our authority to.
now, what that's saying is when you are building your structure, you can go look up the law of structure or the law of consent, right? So these people are consenting into lower vibrational things. They are consenting into operating with greed, gluttony, lust, envy, hate, pain, hurt, fear, right? They are consenting to this stuff. So they are feeding this operation. They are building this structure of operation inside their vessel. Thus far, eternally and externally, they are revealing themselves to you. All you have to do is be willing to open your eyes, and you'll see exactly what they're operating in, right? As soon as I started fighting these different variations of energies off inside my vessel, I started noticing when other people were in this form of operation, right? I started really noticing these entities that operate like this. As soon as I started realizing that my inner me is my inner me, and I started battling with my inner me, right? Then I started seeing these different entities that are outside of me that are reflecting lust, greed, gluttony, envy, jealousy, right? Now, the problem is once I notice them, they also notice me. And that's why they are attacking me at the magnitude that they're attacking me with the lies, right? This is why they're feeding a different group of lies to a different group of people, because all of them operate on that energy. I want y'all to think about this, right? I go over there by myself as one persona. They have 7 people on a panel showing you that they operate in legions, right? They need 5 to 7 people on that panel. See, that 4-person panel wasn't good enough for them the last time when I went over there and tore down 4 of them, right? So now when I go over there, they're like, and we're going to bring Ayasha up. We're going to bring Grace up. We're going to bring Jaguar up. We're going to bring Wolf Coochie up. We're going to. Why do you think they bringing so many people up every time I go over there? Soon as I go over there, they want to bring 8 people up. Why? Why? Because they operate in legions. I want you to go back to the Conjuring, right? What did that vessel say? We are many. That's what they say. We are many, right? So they can't deal with me individually. That's why they don't come up over here. That's why none of them pop up over here, even though they go over there and talk about my live. Did you see his live? Did you see RalphDawise live? Stephanie say, no, I don't watch none of his lives. So how are you using your own discernment if you yourself never went over to one of my lives and watched it? That means you're taking somebody else's word for it. That means you don't have a brain of your own. She sits there without her own discernment and say, I never went over to his space. I never seen none of his lives. But you are passing judgment based off of what someone else is saying. None of these characters say that. They all try to make it seem like they never seen my live, but they're just taking Maggie's word for whatever it is that she's saying. Goldie, all of them, right? And Goldie said that I talked about her kid, but then she turned around and told on herself and was like, oh, here we go with this again, because I said that Jaguar sexualized her kid, right? I said I wasn't talking about your kid. I was talking about how Jaguar sexualized them. But see, y'all want to weaponize y'all kids, right? It's the same thing that happens when you say somebody is a bad parent, right? You say they're a bad parent and they try to use their kids as a shield. Don't bring my kids into this. I'm not. I'm bringing your parenting into this. Don't say nothing about my kids. I didn't. I said something about your parenting. Leave kids out of it. I did. I'm talking about the way that you are parenting that kid. But they want to keep on overlooking your words to fit a false narrative for their defense system. That's not proper operation. If you're pointing out the fact that somebody's a bad parent, you're not talking about the kid. You're talking about them. Right? So this is how they operate. This is how they work. It makes no sense at all, but they'll keep on doing this. because it's the justification that they need to sit right with. They're trying to justify their actions, their fuckery, their trickery. That's what they're trying to justify. Oh, snap. I almost lost y'all right there, TikTok. For the people that's on Energy of Atlas page, I almost lost y'all. My battery was on 5%. It done went to sleep mode and some more stuff. Y'all better hurry up and get over to RalphDawise on YouTube and hit the subscription button over there. I need a couple more people over there. Come on, TikTok, work with me here. Work with me here, TikTok. Come on, I'm on 2 pages on TikTok. Can I get a couple of y'all to work with me? I'm asking y'all to do something that's free. Just go drop a sub on RalphDawise on YouTube. Come on. Come on, TikTok. Everybody else wants y'all to drop a galaxy. You know, I ain't even asking for a galaxy. I'm just asking you to go over to YouTube and give me a sub. It's free. I know a lot of y'all suffer from ODD. I'm not trying to be an authority. I just need a sub. I'm just trying to get some subs. That's all, TikTok. Come on, work with me here. I'm on 2 pages on TikTok. A couple of y'all can do that for me. I'm giving y'all some knowledgeable stuff right now. Can I get a sub? And when you get over there, let me know that you did it so I can thank you. If you don't see my YouTube page, that's because you're probably not looking for it. If you don't see my YouTube page, it's probably because you're not looking for it, because we're live on 2 pages on YouTube right now. Why would the link need to be in my bio? So now you're trying to make me work harder to help you find the page when all you got to do is go over to YouTube and type in RalphDawise, D-A-Wise, Ralph D-A-Wise. So you want me to put the link in my bio. Now you're trying to put me to work. I'm trying to get you to do something for free, and you trying to put me to work. Come on, Melinda, work with me here. We on 2 pages over there. If you don't find RalphDawise, you're going to find Energy of Atlas 111. We are live on 2 pages over there. They want me to do more. Like, they want me to make it easier I'm making it as easy as possible. And they still saying do more to make it easier. That means they're not willing to put themselves in operation to find the page. When they want to find something, they find it easily. We know these everybody can actually do the work to find the stuff, but I don't know. If you can't find it, I appreciate you for thinking about finding it. That's all I can say about that. Because I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you can't find it, I appreciate you for thinking about it. Maybe you thinking about it to put somebody else in the proper will to actually find it. But I can't keep on, like, that's a trick right there. When somebody says, I can't find it, do more to help me find it. Like, damn, I did everything on my end that I possibly can do. You know what I mean? So that's them trying to say, I don't work for you, you work for me. You do something for me. Like, that's what it's a trick. It's a trick. It's not you know, they don't really want to find your YouTube. This is people that don't really want to find your YouTube, but they want to discourage other people from going over there. So they say they can't find it. So when somebody else read that in the comment section, they automatically get discouraged because they don't want to go through the steps of not finding it too. So they hurry up and say, I can't find it. So then other people say, well, I'm not about to go look for it if they can't find it. You know what I mean? That's the shit that they do. And it has nothing to do with me. I can't do nothing but continue to go live and hope that the right people find the space. Everything's not for everybody.
Whatever kind of force we are in consent with, whether we know this or not, is the quality of energy that our body and consciousness is subjected to in universal law. The quality of spiritual force will have corresponding dimensional laws, which govern the actions of that quality of that spirit. Negative forces are in the lower dimensions and create servitude and bondage to.
Look at what she's still saying. She said, all the people I follow got links in their bio. So the link that's in my bio is to my Discord. So click the link that's in my bio, go over to my Discord, and then go to my YouTube page for my Discord. How about that? Because this is my backup page. That's why the link's not in my bio, because this is one of my backup pages. If you would like to go to my main page, Energy of Atlas, we are live on that page too. And then you can click on that link in that bio. Since you want to try to make this some type of I need to do more to help you type of situation, instead of you just actually going over to YouTube and typing in RalphDawise, you want to sit here and try to make it seem like I only follow people that got links in their bio. Well, don't follow me then. Don't go over there then. If I got to do more to get you to go subscribe, don't go subscribe. That's the problem with y'all. Y'all always want people to do more when they asking you for the minimum. I'm asking you to do something that's free. You want me to shut the whole page down and put the link in the bio to please you, one person. That's your fault. I don't got nothing to do with that. You don't want to go find the page. That's the reality of it. You don't want to go find the page, and that's okay. But stop typing stuff in my comment section that's discouraging other people from doing it. Stop trying to justify your actions of not doing it. Okay? Don't justify your actions of not doing it. Just don't do it. You trying to make yourself feel better. Get out of here. That's weird.
Bondage to time, while positive forces of the spirits of Christ are in the highest dimensions and create sovereignty and freedom for the soul and spirit. What we think with our intent will be in consent with the frequency match of the forces that we generate, and the force we create with is our authority in the structure that we are building.
Right up. That's what I'm saying.
What we build in the law of structure.
I know. Listen, I know it's going to come right up because the title is RalphDawise is live, right? So by the title being RalphDawise is live, as soon as they type in RalphDawise in their YouTube bar, one of my feeds are going to come up. They don't even want to go type it in. They're telling me to do more for them. Make it make sense. That means you're looking for a way not to find the page. You're looking for a reason not to go put it in. That don't have nothing to do with me. That's her operation. She don't want to go find the page, but she's trying to type stuff in the comment section that discourage other people from finding the page. And then as soon as I get frustrated, she'll say something on the line of, I'm not following you if you're going to talk to me like that. Well, don't follow me then.
Structure is what we have created with accumulated or combined forces.
It's not hard at all.
This creation, whether perceived as intangible or tangible, will have an energetic cause and effect upon our body, mind, consciousness, and all of our life experiences.
To find the page.
When one has the knowledge of the law of intent, they naturally develop their consent with whatever energy, force, or structure they are interacting with or co-creating with. That force of energy, whether positive or negative, is used to create a structure, and that will determine the authority with which that structure has been built. As long as that structure has been built with that same intent, consent, and authority, it will remain as the governor of that structure.
You hear that? You hear that? The operation of intent, right? It says when one has the knowledge of the law of intent, right, they naturally develop their consent with whatever energy, right? So I want the free will, the love, the light, right? So I'm putting my intentions into that operation of bringing forth change to this world, right? So these are the contents. See, some people put themselves in the content of laziness, right? So they'll do everything to try to be lazy, do as little as possible, do as less work as possible. The same form that she just put herself in, right? I got to do more for her to do less. You get what I'm saying? That's her intentions. That's not mine, right? That's the law of intent, right? So if she's intending on being lazy, then she's going to do everything in her power to stay lazy. I can't change her operation. Even if it was in my bio, still try to say that the link is not working in the bio just to further her justification for her laziness. You get what I'm saying? And I'll play it back so you guys can hear it.
What we build in the law of structure is what we have created with accumulated or combined forces. This creation, whether perceived as intangible or tangible, will have an energetic cause and effect upon our body, mind, consciousness, and all of our life experiences. When one has the knowledge of the law of intent, they naturally develop their consent with whatever energy, force, or structure they are interacting with or co-creating with. That force of energy, whether positive or negative, is used to create a structure, and that will determine the authority with which that structure has been built. As long as that structure has been built with that same intent, consent, and authority, it will remain as the governor of that structure. This lack of knowledge is the most common reason why an individual that has unknowingly co-created with the negative causes, that are the impostor spirit forces, becomes increasingly entangled with these negative forces, creating more negative results from law of cause and effect. Many people cannot discern negative forces and the levels of deception carried out by the impostor spirits. This is a loophole created from the alien machinery and its inorganic AI architecture that has manipulated human beings to co-create with these negative forces, in order to grow and spread their negative effects on the earth plane and in other dimensions. 2. Self-sourcing thoughts and behaviors. To source thoughts, it is supremely helpful to become aware of the internal structures of ego operating in one's body and be able to monitor thoughts as spiritually abusive thoughts or spiritually healthy thoughts. Once this is accomplished, it is much easier to learn how to be in compassionate witnessing and not need to assign any type of judgment on thoughts, but to assume neutrality. It is important to know that the alien machinery has abused the natural laws, in so that humanity does not have free will in the way that they believe they have. This has been accomplished through the erasure of galactic memories, unplugging human
and this is one thing that I work with, my son with, right? It's the thought, right? His thought process, right? He tells himself stuff like whenever he put himself down, he do better in the game, right? And that's not true. You do better in the game because you are better in the game, right? But he thinks that by putting himself down, by saying, man, I suck, man, I did terrible, he thinks that that's helping him do better. And I'm trying to get him out of that operation. Don't talk about yourself like that. Don't speak down on yourself like that, right? You made him, even if we lose in the game, we gonna get him next time. We got this. We the shit. You know what I mean? This is something that I'm building up in him, building good characteristic traits in him. Don't never talk down about yourself. Don't never speak this ill intent on yourself, you know? But because he got caught up in that gaming life and everybody speaks so ill intently of each other in the game, he thinks by beating himself up, he's doing better in the game. Right? This is why I try to get on that game with him and run with him in that game, not only to protect him from other people that's trying to talk negative about him, but also build the characteristic traits up in him of goodness, of light, right? You the shit. Y'all heard him yesterday in the Discord. He was like, man, I'm good. Man, I'm the best. Man, because I'm building that in him. Speak great about yourself, right? I mean, he was talking hella shit yesterday while we was playing. He was, oh yeah, I got 10 of them. I got 12. Oh, and we got the victory. Like that's what I like to hear. I like to hear him speak highly of himself. He's got enough people in this world that's going to try to tear him down. But as long as he don't let that bother him, he's always going to be great. Just like the basketball team. When he was on the basketball team, the coach was putting him in competition with other players that was on the team. I'm like, 7, don't worry about them. You just go out there and play your best. Have good sportsmanship, right? Don't worry about the coach, telling you this and telling you that, trying to, make you be in competition with the other players on the team. This is why they break the band up. This is why they tell groups, oh, y'all should put out solo albums. So then they can compare the solo albums. This is why they put LeBron James compared to Michael Jordan, even though it's 2 different eras, right? He can't stand in his own glory and own right by himself. He got to be in competition with somebody that was outside of his time, so on and so forth. So you got to be careful with these different forms of operation that these entities use outside of you to put you at a fight with the inside of yourself, right? Inside of yourself, you should feel great. Outside of yourself, you're still going to have to go through the trials and tribulations that we call life. It doesn't take away from the greatness that's inside of you. It's just saying that you have to go through this in order to build the characteristic traits that you are feeling inside of you. That's where, diversity comes, right? We the truth seekers.
Planetary DNA and using psychological spiritual warfare through mind control technology. All of these psycho-spiritual warfare assaults against humanity and the mind make it challenging to impossible to navigate the terrain of the promotion and shaping of the archontic deception behavior and its victim-victimizer strategy to keep the collective human mind generating thoughts of the predator realm. If we think thoughts like a predator, if we think thoughts that are opposing and abusive to the natural laws of God and the inner Christ spirit, we are then in consent with the Luciferian or satanic forces. If we remain in consent with our thoughts to the impostor spirit, we will suffer greatly in spiritually abusive behaviors that we generate from our own mind, and its match to our thought vibration in the collective unconscious mind. References: Single soul occupancy, cause and effect, laws of intent, consent, and authority. See also law.
This is my outside cat. This cat just wandered in the yard. And look how small she is. She won't grow. They say it's a racer cat, but this is my outside cat. She just wandered in the yard. It's called a familiar. So she's familiar with my energy, so it brought her to my house. And she won't leave. I let her outside. She goes outside and she comes back. I open the door, let her back in. She comes back in. Okay, I'm sorry. That's how your mouth hurt. I'm sorry. Oh, your breath stink. Not my fault you got bad teeth in your mouth. I got some bad teeth in my mouth too. Maybe we could fix it together. What's going on, Denat? How's everything? The culture is rising. And these people are mad. What's going on with you, man? Love is love. Hope all is well. Y'all drop the hearts in the comment section for Denat. Y'all drop the hearts in the comment section for Denat. You have to be very cautious in this new time. Things are shifting, things are shaping differently. People are coming into different mindsets and understandings of their self. And the world is changing around us as we know it. You have a lot of people that don't want this change to take place. They already put their mindset in some type of superiority idea over you. So now that things are changing and shifting and we're coming to a oneness, that equals out the playing field. They don't like that. They don't want you to feel as great as they feel. Their objective is to put you down so they can feel better about their self. Tomorrow we're going to get into Lee lines and grids, because this is important. This is the grid of the human DNA that we're talking about. We're not just talking about any type of Lee lines or grids. We're talking about Lee lines and metaphysics. How do these Lee lines correspond to your vessel, your body, your DNA? So there's 12 strands of DNA. All 12 of them strands are awakening inside the vessels of man. They told you that 2 years ago, that some people are using more strands of their DNA than others. And this goes back to the 36 chromosomes. There's actually 144 chromosomes. You see how the 12 within the 12 plays out, right? The 12 within the 12, it's everywhere. The universe put it in everything. That's why we have 12 hours of light and 12 hours of darkness, or 12 hours a day and 12 hours a night, whatever you want to call it, right? That's why we have 12 zodiac signs. That's why, 12 inches equals 1 foot, right? Because it's in everything. This is why Baker gives you, 13 as a mystery dozen, because it's baked in the oven. Therefore, they give you a mystery 13, right? It is the essence of Christ that is inside of us that connects the 12 disciples that are inside of us. Once you realize that the disciples are inside the vessel, you'll allow the Christ essence inside of you to put back together the 12 that is inside the vessel. As opposed to looking at this as an outer story, you'll start becoming the Christ of your vessel, and you'll be baptized by John the Baptist, and you'll be befriended by Mary Magdalene, which is the sacral chakra. But we'll get into that later. We'll get into that, tomorrow, or we'll do it tomorrow.
Our thought consciousness creates a holographic grid program that repeats in cycles and can be best understood if you study sacred geometry. The grids consist of a matrix of sound, light and color through which we virtually experience time and emotion. In physical reality, the grids are electromagnetic, creating polarity or duality of experience, looking to restore balance. When one is in the process of awakening and moving through the healing process of healing self by healing others, one creates balance, increases their psychic abilities, and obtains a final understanding of the nature of reality and where it is all going. Reality is about the evolution of consciousness in the alchemy of time. Grid and human DNA. Grid energy is the very essence and fabric of the universe. In the following illustration created by Deja Allison, Yushui Reiki Master, hypnotherapist, Ph.D. in Motivational Studies, GBCT instructor, the grid has no beginning and no end. Looking at the grid vertically, you will see it makes a four-sided diamond shape, following creational/sacred geometry, showing the interlaced woven matrix of universal essence. When energy flows unobstructed, the flux remains relativity even, though there is always intonation at all times. You can see examples of how the shape forms other geometry for manifestation. Human DNA is configured by this geometry. In order for the flux to have different levels of intonation, there must be catalysis of some kind. Thoughts and action are two different kinds of catalysts. Therefore, there must be movement to effect change. Different laws affect the consciousness of the grids, such as balance, neutrality, as well as immutable universal laws. Codes of energy that once put into motion cannot be stopped and must play out until the end of the program. How those laws affect us is determined by our own energy patterns. Our thoughts and actions determine the law of attraction by the types of experiences to which we have experienced in this lifetime or another. Immutable laws cannot be stopped. They can be altered by events but not stopped. 1.
All right, so when you get into that, we're going to save that for tomorrow, because that'll be a lot of stuff to get into as far as the grid and how it relates to your light body, your, axles, the 12 tree grid. This is the diaphragm of the vessel right here, if you look. So this is the 12 tree grid of the vessel, so on and so forth. So we'll get into that tomorrow. We'll do a deep dive into that tomorrow. Now, once again, we try to get the knowledge out the way in the morning, and then later on, we got to fight these demons. You know what I mean? With laughter and love and light. And that's what they don't like. They don't like that I'm busting them up with laughter. They got all types of tactics. They coming out with muppet babies and some more shit. Oh man. Hey, for everybody that's on TikTok, get over to RalphDawise on YouTube. That's Ralph D-A-Wise on YouTube. Get over there. We do have a lot of fun over there. We laugh a lot over there. And anybody that want to contribute, here is the link. We appreciate it. Gratitude, 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 rising. Love is love. Namaste. Ashe, salutations, shalom, peace. So let's get into this right here, because a lot of people operate with this memory storage of unconsciousness. I want to bring y'all out of the unconscious mind. Realize that we are conscious beings. Once you realize that you are a conscious being, you'll realize that source is conscious, and then you'll be connected back to that source. So unplug from that unconscious outlet that you're using, that dead energy, and plug it back up to source, so you can have the energy of life. Life comes with a conscious. That's why it says this is a zombie world. A lot of people are walking around in an unconscious mind, which puts you in the form of a zombie. If you have a conscious, then you will be, yes, a conscious come with taking accountability for your actions. Yes, a conscious come with doing the right thing, having integrity, so on and so forth. These are the things that a conscious come with. A lot of people don't want to have integrity. A lot of people don't want to take accountability. This is why they stay in the unconscious state, because they want to blame it on somebody else. Don't go talk to my mom. My mom made me this way. No, your mom brought you into this world, but your mom didn't make you. You have to take accountability for how you grew in this world. If you grew up in wickedness, whatever the case may be, that's the things that you were putting inside yourself. That ain't got nothing to do with who brought you into this world. That don't got nothing to do with what vessel brought you into this world, because your parents are not really your parents. They are just the vessel that brought you into this third dimension, right? A lot of people want to try to make that title hold when that title don't hold. You got a father in heaven, you got Mother Earth or Gaia, right? That is your true mother and father, right? But you want to look at it and say the vessel that brought you into this world. No, that's just the form of what you came in this world. Now that you here, you're accountable for your own actions. That's why the Bible says, once you know right from wrong, you are accountable. You are held accountable. So once you get an idea of right and wrong, you are accountable. A lot of people don't want to take accountability.
First internal layer. This is the root layer of our unconscious mind, and it functions like a hard drive for the ego. In this hard drive is the cellular memory storage from all of one's life.
I'm sorry. Sometimes the AI don't want to work with me. So as soon as I walked away, she decided
One's
to
life
start reading.
streams. This means that cellular memories from past lives, present lives, and future lives may
Y'all
all
can't
be
hear it?
stored in this memory hard drive. These memories are not given
Can
value
y'all
when
hear
they
it?
are recorded.
StreamYard's been acting up. Y'all can hear it? YouTube? Okay. Hey, TikTok, make sure y'all go over to RalphDawise on YouTube. Go over to RalphDawise on YouTube. Drop a sub over there. I'm trying to reach 1K. 1K. Only need about 15 more people. Well, maybe 20 something more people. You know, if everybody on the TikTok page just go over to RalphDawise and drop a sub, I'll probably be there by the time I get off this live. But I know everybody's not going to do it.
Recorded,
So I
whether one may
appreciate the
perceive them as
warm.
good or bad, these many multiple memories are
Appreciate the
stored
warm.
on the root hard drive of every human being. Whether one was a fetus, baby, in between lifetimes, or unconscious when the body suffered abuse and experienced trauma, it was recorded in one's memory storage whether one currently remembers that event consciously or not. Because the planet was invaded and our
Did
individual
you hear
memory
that?
and identity.
It said whether you was a fetus, a baby, in between lifetimes, right? That means it doesn't matter how many times you've been reincarnated. It doesn't matter. All of these traumas are wrote down inside your unconscious mind, right? So that's telling you right there that your life water has memory. And whether you want to believe it or not, if you were in the fetus state inside the belly of your mom and she was experiencing trauma, then you also have memory of that trauma. Okay?
Identity erased from those tragic events. Most all human beings have four main areas of cellular memory record in their unconscious mind at varying degrees. Those four main areas are abuse, trauma, shock, and devastation. Some people will feel these painful memories but not know what caused them or where they came from. Others will suffer from shock and will have shut these memories down completely as a coping mechanism. Others are very successful clearing these memories through emotional clearing practices such as with hypnosis and past life regression. Since this 1D unconscious mind controls our autonomic nervous system and autonomic bodily functions, unhealed memory trauma in these four main areas creates many kinds of physical symptoms and disease. These devastating memories have been partially described in Twisted Half-Truths in the Fall of Humankind, or the Genesis story of Adam and Eve in the Bible. Starseeds have an Earth mission to heal these memories and timelines in a multitude of ways. 1.
So, as a star seed, let me allow that to be looked at for a second. As I come into the understanding that I am a star seed, right? As I come into the understanding that I am a star seed, I realize that I have to do everything to heal these timelines. Through knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, I am trying to help people heal these different timelines of trauma. Now, good things could be placed, but in order to push the trauma memories out, you have to be willing to replace them with as many good memories as possible. Does that make sense? So, in order for us to change this, we have to put as much good on top of it to where as though you start forgetting that bad stuff happened. This is what I tell people in relationships, right? I say I'm sorry for whatever someone else done, but let's try to put as much good stuff, let's try to create good memories so that way you forget that these old memories exist. You forget that some guy did you wrong, right? Because I'm going to replace all of that with good memories, right? That's what you have to do. If you want to clean up the timelines, start replacing things with good memories, right? Focus on the good memories, right? I can sit here and tell y'all that, my dad whooped my ass with extension cords, or I got beatings when I was a kid, or he hit me in the back with a shovel, or I'm a bonding shit. I choose not to. I choose to look at my dad with forgiveness, right? I choose to look at my dad with love, right? I still go around my dad to this day. I can go right to my dad's house. I can call my dad right now and tell him to come to my house and he'll come here. It doesn't even matter. Like my dad would be like, you got something around the house you want fixed? Come on, let's hang out. Let's kick it, right? I choose to rebuild that timeline with good memories. I don't look at my dad for the ass whoopings that he gave me when I was a kid. I choose to look at him and say, those ass whoopings made me the person that I am today. And for that, I love you, because I wouldn't be the person that I am today if I take away those ass whoopings. Right? So a lot of times it's based off of how you want to look at it. A lot of people keep on looking at traumas and bad things in their life and say, why me? Why me? Why me? But when you start looking at it and saying, why not me? You'll start appreciating things in a different light. And that's the way I decided to look at life. I started to have a different appreciation for the good and the bad in this world. Right? I started having a different level of appreciation for the good and the bad in this world. TikTok, we are 13 people away on YouTube. RalphDawise on YouTube. Appreciate the gift. RalphDawise on YouTube. We are 13 people away from 1K. 13 people away from 1K. If you want to help out, please go over to RalphDawise on YouTube and drop a follow. A sub. Drop a sub over there on YouTube. We're just 13 people away. And as you can see, it's 22 people in one room and 8 people in the other. And the reason why is because I'm operating on 2 TikTok pages at one time. So it is ciphering my internet network. The amount of stuff that's coming in through the internet. So it's spreading it out. But if everybody from the page actually go to RalphDawise and drop, we can get there right now. In this moment, you can help me get to 1K. All you got to do is go to RalphDawise on YouTube. RalphDawise on YouTube. Drop a sub. It's free. It's free, right? So yes, you got to stay out of different variations of, and it's not to say like we can't share our different levels of stories with each other. We just got to remember what we're doing, right? When I share certain stories, I start, as an empath, I feel the energy that I'm changing in people's body. I can feel your energy changing, right? So I know when I'm trauma bonding with people. A lot of people know when they're trauma bonding with you. They can feel your mood start to switch. They feel your mood start to change, and they'll keep digging. They'll keep digging. They feel that they're having an effect on you, and they'll still keep, and this happened, and that happened, and this happened. And then next thing you know, you sitting there crying, they sitting there lying. Same thing with Jaguar Wright and Madagascar. They want to play on your feelings and emotions. They want you to feel hurt, pain, all of that stuff. So they go around and they try to make other people feel less so they can feel better. That's what they do. They go around and talk crap about everybody else just so they can feel good about their fuckery. And that's why I say a real spiritual war is no more than a war on consciousness. That's the real war. When you think about a spiritual war, it's a war on your conscious, okay?
War on consciousness. This spiritual war is designed to attack the human mind through the incredibly sophisticated use of subconscious programming methods, which are designed to dehumanize the masses so that they digress into something less than animals, a fallen shadow of a human being that has lost contact with the light of their soul. The anti-soul agenda produces people without their spiritual connection that are lost and confused, are easily exploited through subconscious programs to generate more dark shadows that carry out the enslavement agenda.
Allegedly,
Many of the belief
supposedly.
systems that form our ego/personality are subconsciously programmed during early childhood before our brains have had sufficient time to fully develop into the levels of intelligence that involve logic, language, critical thinking, and problem solving. The human brain and nervous system undergo several bio-spiritual developmental phases from childhood throughout adulthood, ages 12-22-33-44, that are related to the level of consciousness expansion that occurs in that individual throughout.
Now, I want y'all to look at these ages, right? It says the age 20, it says the age 12, 22, 33, 44, right? Christ first appeared at the age of 12 when he flipped over the churches when he first went to Jerusalem, because Jerusalem is in the brain. Christ is an essence that is built up in Nazareth, which is at that time probably they named it Nazareth, but it actually is your testicles. So it's a hormonal energy inside your body that rises up inside your vessel. Jerusalem being a brain, Christ is a seed that rises up in the spinal cord to reach Jerusalem. He first appeared at the age of 12 or roughly 13. Jesus died at the age of 33. Ironically, you see these numbers right here, 12 and 33, right? So it's telling you the path of Christ in the body. It's connected with mankind. A man first starts having secretion in his sac at the age of 12, right? This is what is, always was, and always will be. This is the story that repeats over and over again because it's about the story of Christ inside the body, the Christ like energy, right? Christ consciousness, right? So that's why you see it say the age 12 and 33, because these are ascension ages. That's why Jay-Z got the 40, is it 40-40 or 44? It don't matter.
Throughout their lifetime. Thus, humans have been subconsciously programmed to repel and reject this natural stage of consciousness growth, which would evolve the human being into integration stages with their soul consciousness at the early age of 12. Controlled mainstream media keeps
As it
entertainment
said,
and
breaking
news at the
news,
mental
breaking
level of a
news.
10 to 12-year-old, to exploit the subconscious programming that stops adults from furthering their soul integration.
What happened,
This
Sandra? You
leaves
need to
people that
come
are
up.
effectively hypnotized and mesmerized by mainstream media emotionally stunted in their light body, frozen in time at this developmental stage of being a child. The NAA rely heavily upon the use of subconscious programming mind control tactics, through the use
Allegedly.
of assorted electromagnetic technologies, nanotechnology, and chemicals that are designed to interfere with and disrupt the bio-spiritual evolution or
Oh, wait,
planetary ascension.
You can't, allegedly, you can't go into that. I ain't gonna talk about that. 11 more people, YouTube. I mean, TikTok. We need 11 more people to go over to RalphDawise, right? There's no way I shouldn't get 11 more people right now because I have 29 people in one room and 11 people in another room. We're literally on 2 pages on TikTok. So it's no way I can't get 11 of y'all to go over to RalphDawise on YouTube real quick. Just go over and drop a sub. You ain't busy. You not doing nothing. Just go to YouTube, type in RalphDawise, and hit the subscription button. It is free. All you got to do is put your vessel in the operation to do it. Excuse me. We need 9 more people. 9 more people, just 9 more people from TikTok to come over to YouTube and hit the subscription button. Just 9 more people. You can be one of those 9 right now. You can be one of those 9 right now. All right. Understand to overstand so you'll never be placed under something. Allow your yoke. We can't talk about the brain. Critical thinking, maybe. Let me see what it's saying. Critical thinking, other deflections. We might be able to get into this. If you want to see what we're talking about,
Critical thinking is the
over
process of
to
actively and skillfully conceptualizing,
RalphDawise.
applying, analyzing, synthesizing, and evaluating information to reach an answer or conclusion based on accurate assessment of conditions, context, and proper discernment. In developing greater skills of accurate assessment of the conditions to which we are exposed, we will need to integrate the mental body's critical thinking skills with our heart's intelligence, such as developing our intuitive feelings and higher sensory perception to have higher degree of personal clarity.
Followers on RalphDawise.
Critical thinking is not usually conceptualized as a process we should synthesize with our heart's feelings, and most intellectuals will refuse to accept this analogy of critical thinking. However, to have more informed awareness and to achieve coherence within our perceptions of reality, we will be required to merge the heart-brain with the external perception of events, simultaneously. Applying critical thinking in order to develop strong and accurate discernment of events, as well as applying the wisdom based upon our analysis in when to take action or non-action in situations.
I said it's cold outside. I'm going to have to cuff her. Hit him with that lumber. Hold on, I got to get some more coffee. Now, I hope you know, if you are coming over to YouTube, we don't just talk about this all day. We laugh and we do we do talk our crap with laughter and stuff. So I do happen to be getting on people over here because they think they're going to push me off this page, or they think they're going to, come at our collective. You ain't coming at our collective. That's the importance of building a collective. When you're building a collective, you have to protect that collective. You have to show that collective that they're safe with you, right? A lot of people build a collective and then tear down the same people that's in their collective. We're not doing that. All right. So if you see somebody with a wrench by their name, or if they're part of my Discord, or if they're part of my my collective, and I see you fucking with them, I'm on your top. I'm on your top. All right. So if you think that you about to, get on somebody that's a part of the group that I'm creating, nah, we one over here. We are one. So talking to them crazy is like talking to me crazy, and we not going to be talked to crazy. Okay? Yeah, RalphDawise is live. Y'all ain't about to talk to us any old type of way. We building each other in a different light. You know, we building a different structure with each other. We building a different union with each other. I'm not about to build a collective and then say, you was talking to them, you wasn't talking to me. No, talking to them crazy is talking to me crazy. Simple as that. It ain't no we still everybody for themselves. Nah, we in this shit together and we gonna move like that. So yes. So we gotta have critical thinking, self-awareness.
Traditionally,
And we
critical
only need
thinking has
9
been
more
variously
people over
defined
on
as
YouTube. 9 more people. Come on,
disciplined thinking that is clear,
y'all.
rational, open-minded, and informed by evidence. Reasonable, reflective thinking focused on deciding what to believe or do.
Especially women in the
Purposeful,
collective. Y'all
self-regulatory
gotta get
judgment
y'all
which
power
results
back.
in
I'm
interpretation,
sorry that y'all went
analysis,
through so much over
evaluation,
these
and inference,
decades.
as well as
Y'all gotta
explanation
get
of
y'all
the
power back.
evidential,
Y'all are the
conceptual,
greatest
methodological,
force in this world.
criteriological,
Y'all
or
birth
contextual
nations.
considerations upon which that judgment is based. Includes a commitment to using reason in the formulation of our beliefs. The skill and propensity to engage in an activity with reflective skepticism. Disciplined, self-directed thinking which exemplifies the perfection of thinking appropriate to a particular mode or domain of thinking. Thinking about one's thinking in a manner designed to organize and clarify, raise the efficiency of, and recognize errors and biases in one's own thinking. Critical thinking is not hard thinking nor is it directed at solving problems, other than improving one's own thinking. Critical thinking is inward directed with the intent of maximizing the rationality and coherence of the thinker. One does not use critical thinking to solve problems. One uses critical thinking to improve one's process of thinking, such as making an appraisal based on careful analytical evaluation, as well as considering the intuitive insights that are felt in the circumstances. Contemporary critical thinking scholars have expanded these traditional definitions to include qualities, concepts, and processes such as creativity, imagination, discovery, reflection, empathy, connecting knowing, feminist theory, subjectivity, ambiguity, and inconclusiveness. Some definitions of critical thinking, self-assessment, and propaganda.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Propaganda is directly related to classical conditioning mind control tactics.
I told you, AI. Now I'm working with you. You got to work with me too, AI. Okay? Now you can't just start talking about the stuff that we can't talk about. I know you want to tell them, but you just can't. You can't do it like that. All right? So here are 9 steps to mastering relationships, right? Self-responsibility, right? I'll let the thing read it, but here's you go right here. Here's a view on it: humility, discernment, direct knowing, and be true to yourself, right? So these are some of the things that you have to have when you have discernment. Discernment, they make it seem like they know what discernment is, but you can tell that they don't know no type of discernment. They don't have proper discernment. They are followers. That's why when you go over there, it's like an echo chamber. They are all echoing the same thing. None of them have their own thoughts. You go over to Jaguar, right, or Magi's platform, it's an echo chamber. It's like those birds that was on Nemo. Mine, 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 mine. That's what it is over there.
Discernment, without using ego judgment, test the personal resonance of people, events, and circumstances that you choose to engage with or exchange with, determining which is either a
platforms right now. We're live on Twitch. We're live on YouTube. We're live on 2 pages on TikTok, 2 pages on YouTube, and 1 page on Twitch. If we are going to change the frequency, we have to be broadcasting on all platforms because our kids are operating on these platforms. And if we care about the kids, then we should be cleaning up the spaces that our kids operate in. So, yes, we are on YouTube right now. I encourage more people to go over and follow RalphDawise. That's Ralph D A Wise over there on YouTube. We are live at this present moment. So, you know, we are almost at 1,000K. We are almost at one K, not 1,000K. Damn, that would be lovely. We are almost at 1K. We are almost at 1K likes. We need about, 1K subscribers. We need about 9 more people. So if I can get 9 more people from YouTube, why am I messing up? I probably need to get off, take my cat outside or something. We need 9 more people from TikTok. 9 more people from TikTok to come on over, okay? Just 9. You could be one of the 9. You could be one of the 9. When you get over there, just type that you came from TikTok so you can get that YouTube love.
Discernment. Discernment, without using ego judgment, test the personal resonance of people, events, and circumstances that you choose to engage with or exchange with, determining which is either aligned to your personal resonance or not aligned to your personal resonance, in that moment. There is no right or wrong answer, only personal resonance and choice. That answer may change continually in different timelines moving forward, depending on when you ask the question and what powers of discernment are being cultivated. Learning personal discernment builds our necessary boundaries to discover what is productive and supportive for fulfilling our spiritual.
I don't know why the volume keep dropping out. They StreamYard messing up.
Spiritual path or not.
Can y'all hear it now, YouTube?
Strong discernment allows for continual productive growth and for the effective use of our personal energies and focused attention. By upholding our personal boundaries and applying discernment towards all things that we focus our energy and our attention upon, we are more effectively managing our consciousness and life force. Relationship Mastery Guideline. Relationship Mastery Guidelines has 9 basic steps and is a service to others method based in the law of one and cultivating GSF behavior, while reaping the mutual energetic benefits of experiencing more spiritual connection, and increased love and appreciation returning back from others to you. Improving our compassionate communication with others, improving our relating skills, personally and in group dynamics, is a skill set that will go a long way to serve your mission. With that in mind, we set forth a few guidelines to remember when communicating with others or relating with others. The 6th step is developing discernment in the source of your thoughts, actions, and behaviors and those places and things where one places their energy, focus, and attention. Does it serve your spiritual purpose and personal development? Personal resonance. One must grow in spiritual maturity to be able to discern what is in alignment for you personally without judgment and what others may think of your choices. As you allow yourself to be who you really are as an embodiment of soul, purpose, truth, you will allow all others to be exactly who they need to be. Period. At this level of spiritual growth, your inner serenity and state of inner peace will upset or baffle many around you. Stay serene anyway. We will need the commitment, courage, and strength to stand in our personal soul truth and its purpose, no matter what. Our soul fulfillment is the mirror for others' soul fulfillment and is the highest contribution of service to others that one can make to the world. After we have made the commitment, we will need to learn how to be energetically impeccable with our soul truth and its discernment as we move forward. A committed personal spiritual framework to help you develop disciplines over negative ego. Programming or limiting behaviors will support you immensely. It need not be an elaborate framework, the simple principles of Law of One, Golden Rule as in, do unto others as you would do unto yourself, always speak compassion, or, what would Jesus do? Choose a spiritual framework that has personal meaning and relevance for you. You may find you decide to gather small pearls of wisdom from many different spiritual philosophies to create your own personal spiritual framework, to help support creating one's personal necklace of truth. 1. Spiritual ethic of trust. Trustworthiness is based on ethical principles which include the principle of strong moral character, what we are as persons, and the principle of competence, what we are able to do as persons. You may have faith in the strong moral character of a person, but not in their competence as a leader. You may trust them as a friend, but you may not trust them to provide clear leadership. Alternatively, You may trust their intellectual and technical competence, but lack confidence in their ethics and moral character. These are extremely important points of which to consider when making evaluations on ethical conduct and building trust between any person, group, organization, etc. We are not judging any person as good or bad, we are cultivating discernment and determining appropriate level of trust with a person. Are they trustworthy as well as ethical? We can accurately assess this if we pay attention to patterns and understand the critical role trustworthiness plays in building trust to make the correct decision for ourselves. 2. Energetic balance increase.
Now, as you know, on TikTok, on YouTube, you know that I've been pointing out patterns of behavior, right? I'm pointing out these patterns, but it's up to you to have that discernment, right? I can't give you my discernment. I can only point out patterns of behavior. So I'm pointing out the patterns of their behavior, and you have to willingly take discernment if it doesn't align with you. If it aligns with you, then go over to that echo chamber, which is the cult of Jaguar Wright. Okay. But if it doesn't align with you, then you might want to get away from it as quickly as possible, right? Because it don't align with you, right? 12 to 1K. We just was at 9 to 1K. How we back at 12 again? People leaving? No, it's 6 more, just 6 more people. 6 more people. We just need 6 more people from TikTok to go over to RalphDawise. We need 6 more people to go over to RalphDawise. All right. We need 6 more people to go over to RalphDawise TikTok. Please, just 6 more people. I would greatly appreciate it if you did what was free, which is drop a sub on YouTube, RalphDawise. Okay. We just need 6 more. We need 6 more people from TikTok willing to put themselves in operation to go follow. I'm not even asking all of y'all to do it. I'm just asking for 6 more people, right? You could be one of those 6. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. You're looking at the numbers and you're like, man, somebody else should do it. I don't have to do it, right? I'm pretty sure he'll get 6, right? Don't leave it up to somebody else to do it. You be one of those people, right? But a lot of y'all look at the numbers and y'all be like, oh, he'll get it. He'll get it. And then some of y'all are looking at the numbers and y'all saying, I hope he don't get it. And that's okay to put yourself in that operation. That's something that you have to deal with yourself about. You know what I mean?
Increases discernment. When we are in energetic balance with ourselves, we are in balance with our spiritual self, our heart, and we cease to have great personal turmoil or suffering. This is how we become increasingly healthy and peaceful. When we are emotionally healthy and peaceful, we are able to access our spiritual self and heart intelligence easily, and we greatly increase our accurate levels of higher sensory perception and discernment levels. To improve peace in a largely dysfunctional world, we will require to develop our personal discernment in order to assess conditions accurately. This may require attitudinal behavior guidelines which help us to overcome the insanity of the archontic deception behavior and their anti-life forces which abuse its mechanism. To understand the polarity of the world of forces on Earth and identify how satanic force methods are used every day to destroy the feeling heart and soul of human beings, let's review both sides of spiritually healthy behaviors, GSF, and spiritually abusive behaviors, AD. Spiritually healthy behaviors naturally connect one with God's source and Christos and are God-sovereign free or GSF behavior. Spiritually abusive behaviors disconnect you from God and Christ and are promoted in the archontic deception behavior or AD behaviors. When we are disconnected from our spirit and in extreme emotional and mental turmoil, we have little to no discernment of accurate conditions, nor the ability to make clear and informed decisions.
Let's go. I know
The
y'all.
goal with the discernment guideline is to identify and locate these spiritually abusive AD behaviors in yourself, others, and in any external organization of which you participate, and to transform them through practicing GSF
Let's
behaviors.
show them how TikTok
All
works.
decisions one is able to make from an informed position by identifying AD behaviors will increase personal discernment and energetic resonance of GSF in one's life. The only thing any person can change is themselves through their heart responses and behaviors. Change starts within. 3, 4. Discernment of directing energy. In regard to the use of creation symbols or those sacred geometries that are hijacked for negative purposes, such as STS and for black magic, this is something that each one of us has to find personal discernment in what we connect with and what we feel connected to. Generally, what is a potent way to gain deeper clarity is to first stabilize the body and to learn how to be consistent with your 12D shielding and to use it as a boundary test with what is known as the GSF triad, which is God's sovereign free. When you encrypt your 12D shield with God's sovereign free, what you are basically saying is, I'm only allowing that which interacts with me to be in full resonance with God's sovereign free. When you are able to develop some proficiency with that, doing a 12D shield encrypted with your God's sovereign free triad, and then you use this as a boundary test for sacred geometries or anything else to get better
Just need
discernment about the
one more
quality of
person.
energy.
One
Anything
more.
that you come
Are you
across,
gonna be
you
that
want to feel what
defining
level of
factor?
resonance you have with it,
Are you
and
gonna
to
be that
feel and
one
discern the
more?
body's resonance to this coding or symbolism
One
because
more
of the
TikTok.
reversals,
We
some
just
of which has been
one
discussed
more.
many times in regard
Just
to the
one.
Metatronic reversal
Be
field.
that one.
Fear clouds discernment. Remember that fear will cloud our discernment. When we're feeling fear in our body, it confuses our brain and neurological messaging, which scrambles our inner compass. 5.
Now, why do you say fear clouds discernment? Now you see why people try to keep you in fear. This is why you hear Jaguar Wright keep on pushing out fear, right? This is why you hear her keep on talking about the people that are no longer here, right? This is why you hear her keep on talking about different variations of lower vibrational things, right? This is why you hear her tell the stories and record people on a phone and say they're terrified. They're terrified, right? Because she's putting people in fear. She's putting people in these low vibrations. Oh, we made it. We did it. We did it. Hold on. Let me play a song. I got to play a song. I got to play a song for our achievement. Hold on. I got us. I got to play a song for our achievement. I got us. I know exactly what song to play. I got you.
When your room looks kind of weird and you wish that you weren't there.
Just close your eyes and make believe, and you can be anywhere.
I like it in her.
I like bananas.
I love great jokes. I'm a mobile.
I've got my computer.
I can do that.
I'll play the piano.
We are human beings.
Is everything all right in here?
Yes, Daddy.
A lot of y'all might not get it. A lot of y'all might not get it. But that's it right there. That is Jaguar Wright and them over there being Muppet babies. They over there talking about they gonna make more puppets. Maggie's gonna get a puppet. All of them gonna get a puppet. That way they can do wicked stuff and blame it on the puppets. They want to be able to hide all their wickedness with puppets. The puppet did it. I didn't say that. The puppet said it. I didn't do this. The puppet did it. You know, that's them. That's why we over here. Y'all know what we doing. Y'all know what we doing over here. We fighting lower vibrational entities. I knew once I came over here, these lower vibrational entities was gonna be all over me. I knew that, right? Have you ever been swallowed up?
When we feel lost and confused and spun out in fear, we've lost center and we've lost our inner directional compass. All of us have an inner compass that is our spiritual guidance system. It will lead us to safety and it will make the best choice for us at all times if we can indeed listen to it. But we have to remove the fear and we have to remove lack of trust in our relationship with our higher spirit and God. At the same time, we must make the effort to not become stuck in magical thinking, as God and Spirit helps those who are willing to help themselves and put forth the effort. We are here on this earth to learn spiritual lessons as well as help support the ascension process. All of us must learn to overcome our fears, which dissolves the darkness that exists within the layers of our mind so that we can become free of mental bondage. When we are no longer controlled by fear-based belief systems and reactions, we can stop allowing fear bondage loops and the dark spirits they attract to make an internal dwelling inside our body, mind and emotions. When we've cleaned out these internal dark dwellings, these are also called demonic houses, the spaces where there was darkness are now filled with light. In this state there is a tangible experience of mental and emotional freedom from fear. There are no more automatic impulses that internalize the frequency of fear or that darkness. 6.
That's where you have to be at. You have to be in a state of being where fear doesn't exist. It's not saying that you're not going to take proper cautious to the, to the carnal, losses, right? It's not saying that. When you relinquish fear with inside yourself, it's not like you become less cautious of the world that we live in, right? You just have proper discernment and you don't put yourself in these other, situations or other dwellings of places that do not align with you, right? Now, a lot of people, they don't care about that. They want to keep you in a lower vibration. This is why they make you do things out of guilt. They want you to respond how they want you to respond so they can justify their BS, right? So a lot of times they will push you to respond out of anger, right? And then later on you feel bad that you responded like that. You don't feel you don't they don't feel nothing that you're doing, right? It's you that walk away feeling bad, like, damn, why did I do that? Why did I let them bring me to that point? Why did I let them make me say this or say that, right? So they want you to feel guilty about your actions. So they try to provoke a certain action out of you. So that way you feel guilty about it. After you act like that, then they build up the guilt by reminding you of that action. And you said this to me, and you said that to me. They'll completely disregard everything that they said to get that reaction out of you, but hold you to the guilt of your reaction. Their reaction is justified by whatever means they choose to justify it in their mind. Your reaction is what they're going to hold over you for however long they can hold it over you, right? This is why you have to be able to shake off these different things that they're going to try to make you feel. Yeah. If you don't respond, they call you a coward. They call you a bitch. They try to do anything to provoke a response out of you. They start scratching at different variations of carnal minded thinking, right? And he's ugly, and he's this, and he's that. They'll say anything to try to provoke a response. And then after you give them the response that they want, because a lot of us do, we're multidimensional beings. So a lot of us would be like, okay, you want that energy? I'm going to give it to you. Then after you give it to them, they sit there and play victim. Oh my God, I can't believe you said this. Oh my God, I can't believe you looked this up. Oh my God, I can't believe you. You get what I'm saying? Right? That's the actions of some of these imposter spirits. And it's up to you to have the proper discernment. It's up to you to take heed for how these different entities are operating, right? And Sometimes you can avoid it, sometimes you can ignore it, but you can only ignore it for so long. You can only avoid it for so much because they'll keep on going. Sometimes when you don't respond, that's when they go at you more because they think you're weak. So they will literally attack you more when you say, you know what, I'm not even going to dignify them with a response. Then that's when they like, oh yeah, we got them. So they'll start attacking you more, right? And they say you don't kick a person when they down. These entities, they wait for you to get down to kick you. When you up, they like, hey, I need more people to help pull them down. Then when you down and at your lowest, that's when they start kicking you more. This is why it becomes confusing in your mind. You'll start thinking stuff like, I don't have nothing for people to be hating on me like this. Yes, you do. You got a light inside of you that they're afraid of shining, right? This is why they kick you when you're down. You sitting there thinking like, my life ain't even worth being jealous of. Yes, it is. That's why you're the black sheep of the family. That's why it always seemed like people was around you to keep you down. That's why it seems like family members betrayed you. That's why it seems like you can never get ahead in life, because people don't want you to shine your light. They know the light that's inside of you, and they be damned if you let it shine, right? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, right? They don't want you to shine that light. They don't want you to look at the world as beautiful. They don't want you to look at the world as a great place. They want to make it hell for you while they build their idea of heaven, right? So you definitely got to be careful with these personas. Definitely got to be careful. Once again, tomorrow's lesson will be on Lee lines and how it connects to the body. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. For everybody that came over from TikTok, we greatly appreciate it, right? We greatly appreciate it. Here's the link to the Discord for if anybody want to join the Discord, become part of the Atlas family, become part of Cyber Nation. Love is love. Namaste, Ashe, salutation, shalom, and peace. Remember, one's image of oneself should be greater than reality. If you're not thinking highly of yourself, no one else is going to think highly of you. And if nobody told you today that they love you, then let me be the first but not the last to tell you I love you. All right? And we're going to close out with our song, which is...
You know, lately a nigga been fighting a whole lot of demons. A lot of shit we do gonna have consequences, but we gotta be ready for them. Emergency, I just got out of surgery. I'm having problems with my heart and it won't work. I did some shit in my past and it's cursing me. I'ma stay right here on this plastic, God take breath from me. I'm sipping his hand and he just pain, but it ain't helping.
My little nigga going against the grain and that's just stressing me.
I pray to God that God have mercy. I'm living a crazy life. I just shot at a nigga for talking some shit on the gang. He paid the price. I was young in the rush for the money. My hunger for paper saved my life. And that shit can save tonight. If you wanna live shit, we can get rich quick. We can get paid tonight. Dollar, dollar bill, y'all. Everybody want the money. Everybody want this shit. Everybody want the money, but no wanna go down, down, down. You'll do anything to get it, but when you gonna go out there? Shit, gotta think about it. 187. Murder by eye, you killed a nigga, you don't know if you gon' go to heaven. Gotta chalk that shit over, real talk.
Replay game, y'all know what to
Fight
do.
my demons, fight my demons.
Fight
so many demons. Me against these demons. Against these demons. Fight my demons, fight my demons. It's me against these demons.
Demons.
Me against these demons.
Whoa.
Whoa, I'm fighting these demons up in this ghost. I'm fighting these demons, I'm on the ropes. They came with a beam up under my coat. Get hit in the spleen if you want to smoke. That money be green, so niggas don't go. I'm looking so clean, I used to be broke. Remember they laughed at me and they choked. Gave them the ball, that nigga they choked. Tables turn, that nigga you broke. My little nigga don't follow no call. Follow no call. no code. My
My
niggas
niggas
follow me like the Pope. I stand on my word and stand by the consequence. They say I'm heartless, thanks for the compliment. I sing it dead, homie, yelling company. VMG gang, you bitch fit competent. Don't wanna hear that shit, I gotta kill that shit. Lethally militant, I can get ignorant. We not considerate, niggas do silly shit. We get the drilling shit, guilty and innocent. Don't give a fuck about a bystander. I can pull up in the Highlands. Don't take no slander. Don't take no slander. Dollar bill, y'all.
Everybody want the money, everybody want this shit.
Everybody want the money, but don't wanna go down.
Just sticking around with us.
You'll do anything to get it, boy. You gon'
We
go
love
out
you for that.
Shit, gotta think about
Appreciate
it.
you.
187.
Murder by eye.
You killed the nigga, you don't know if you gon' go to heaven.
Gotta chalk that shit over, God. Real talk. Hey,
Fight my demons, fight my demons.
so many demons.
It's
Me against these demons. Against these demons. Fight my demons, fight my demons. It's me against these demons. Me against these demons. Living life encased in the idea that my evil thoughts go unpunished. As I sort through the rubbish, my days of thugging get slow and ruggish. Idolizing puppets who control the public like a
Fight
control
my
substance.
demons, fight my demons.
Bullets in abundance, anticipating what I know is coming. All of a sudden, my past is blurring, my future is sudden. Dark and muddy, hoping for sunny, I'm still running. To find peace. To find peace. Fighting these things.
Hey, love is love. Y'all know we gonna be over in the Discord. Y'all know what it is. Atlas family out.